Hi everyone, this is Michael Cannon representing the TooMedToo Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And this is, I think, number 35 for the Septic Tank. And it is brought to you by the patrons of the TooMedToo Star Wars Network. You can go and join them by going to patreon.com/TooMedToo, or just go to Patreon and look for TooMedToo. I forget what it is. I'm TooMedToo everywhere. You know how to find me. And you can join the likes of Kylo Customs, Kylo Ren Flores, Rural Farm Boy, Heidi Federer, and Chris from Kentucky. I guess it's number 36, which is probably right. I don't know. I mean, I can tell you in a minute or two, but whatever. I'm not sure where Kylo is. I think Kylo might have been kidnapped by some people this time. I'm not really sure what happened to him. Instead of me being kidnapped. But with us tonight, we have Rural Farm Boy. Rural, what is going on?
We're getting tanked.
We sure are.
Tonight, so we are.
Well, all right. Let's get tanked. I know. Kylo was just here. So, we got the Mandalorian to talk about if we want to. We can just talk about whatever's going on. Michael is on here as advertised. I'll put this link in here in case anybody else wants to hop on. Kylo was just here. Not sure what happened to him. You hear someone in the background. Alright, let me switch microphones then. This happens sometimes. My microphone picks up everything. So let me switch microphones real quick. And Dale, you let me know if this is better.
It sounds good on my end.
Alright, Dale, is that better for you?
I don't know. I expect that what Dale's hearing is what I'm hearing, and that sounds much better. No background noise. Sounds really good.
Yeah, the microphone. I got a microphone for off of Amazon Prime Days or whatever. I'm thinking about sending it back. It worked pretty well for the first. I mean, it was like a $30 or $40 microphone, which is like dirt cheap for a microphone. I got it for like $12 for Prime Days. And it worked pretty well for the first week or two. But it's not really a directional one. Hey! Just so everybody knows, I am not just broadcasting on a normal one. I am on a Live It too. And I just got a big old gift from somebody on there. So I need to thank them. Amachu9, thank you very much. So when you hear me yelling and doing things like that, it's because I am on not just streaming on multiple platforms. I am doing multiple streams at the same time because, shit, man, there's not enough time in the day to get everything done.
What?
It's just exactly.
Kylo, brother.
I have my mic off, but look. And Jake.
And The Apprentice. I hear you.
What's going on, Junior, in the background?
What's up?
Oh, I mean,
No.
oh my God! All right, Kylo, you're kicked off. Junior, you're in charge now.
Whoa.
Junior, listen. Junior could probably have a more coherent Star Wars conversation than some people we know that have their own podcast or show. So, that's not really a big deal.
Hold on. Say that again so she can hear that.
I said that Junior could probably have a more coherent conversation about Star Wars than some people that we know that have their own podcast or YouTube show. Because
YouTube channel. You mean the YouTube channel that they proclaim is a podcast?
I don't know.
Wait, can I guess who it is?
No, you can't guess who it is. We don't name names here, or we do. I don't know.
When it's called for.
Anyways, I was just making an observation. So
Right.
all right.
I'm
Let's-
coming in, guys. Just give me a second. But I'm chit chatting and I'm listening. So
Okay. There is some stuff. Let's see. I had some stuff. I mean, obviously, we had the investors call,
Yes.
and I just want to go ahead and make it well known that this happens every time. There's different type of investor calls. This is the investor call where they let the investors know this is what we have planned. And just because they told the investors this is what's going to happen, still not 100%, but it's a lot better than what we hear through the grapevine and from other people.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen now is next March, when the next investors call is, people are going to listen because they want to find out all this great stuff. But what they don't know is that those are the quarterly investor reports. And all that is then is just all money talk and dividends and this and that. And this is how we got money. This is how we lost money, blah, blah, blah. So in March, when everybody's crying that they didn't get any information from the Disney investors call, and they wasted 3 hours listening to the fucking thing, you did it to yourself, idiots. Because it's what happens every year. Now, if you want to sit there and wait for 3 hours and listen to it in case something happens, that's great for you. But chances are there's going to be someone else that's sitting around listening to it. So if anything does happen, you don't really need to, unless you want to know that, the Disney parks lost $4 billion, but they made, X amount of money with this, and their shares have gone up this much, and they equate it to this and that, and the liquidation of whatever. And I mean, if that's what interests you, I mean, I don't really mind listening to that, when I was listening to stuff, but I'm a big nerd, so what do you expect? But yeah, don't really expect anything to come of any of the future ones until the next one next year about the same time. But yeah, you might get something dropped, or they might, there might be somebody that lets something slip by accident or says something that really doesn't mean anything. But I mean, you do have to take it like at Celebration when we were told this is going on and that's going on. A lot of it was just fluff to get us happy and get us excited. When they said the scripts are written for the Kenobi series, we're ready to start filming it as soon as this is over. That was all BS just to get us happy and excited. But what they don't realize is some people take it as such a religion that once it doesn't happen, it's the death of Star Wars because Disney ruined it, or whatever was going to happen. So I mean, you gotta be smart and understand the way things work. And yes, we love Star Wars and everything that goes along with it, but this is a business, so they're letting the investors, hey, this is what we have planned, this is what's going on. Over the next these are the plans for the next few years. The few years being the next 2 years, the next years being the few years being the next 6 years. This doesn't include comics and books and everything else. So you got to give it a little bit of a leeway here, because we're still not getting a movie for another 3 years or 2.5 years or whatever it is. There's another movie in there somewhere, but it's probably going to happen afterwards. So we're looking at 3 to 4 years. So we're looking at 2023, 2024 before we do get anything. So when people say, oh, they said the next few years, why don't we have it, in 2021? Because you're an idiot. A few years doesn't mean it's going to happen next year. They haven't even started filming it yet. Or if they have, it's like pre-production, which still really isn't filming. But I mean, if you have any intelligence, you understand what's going on. And Texas Prophet, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Anyways, yeah.
Let's get this back on the rails.
I am on the rails. I'm sick of freaking idiots.
Copy that, and as am I. But this past Thursday, in that investors call, we were told by Mrs. Kennedy that we're going to be told over a time 10 more new Star Wars stories.
That we were.
Yes, and they're going to, for the greatest part that I can recall, are going to cross over in the timeline that's, I want to say about half of it, maybe a little bit less than half. And I got some other thoughts for later that I shared with a friend, a YouTuber over in the UK. that's going to cross over in the timeline after Return of the Jedi, which is a timeline that is very sparse of stories that we've been told.
Well, that's like we've been talking about right now. We know the Mandalorian takes place 5 years after. We don't know how much of a time jump there is between season 2 or season 1 and season 2. They're obviously
it's back to back. It's all in the same. It follows the same timeline flow. We were told that.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that it's the next day they rebuilt an entire city. It could have been. It could be 6 months that passed. It could be 2 weeks. It could be a year. So it follows the same timeline, but we don't know exactly when. So that's why there's still speculation on when. Listen, I'm all fired up today. I got my ticket on Live It, so I'm entered in the contest to win free rent for a year. So that was a big goal of mine for today, and I got that to happen. And then I watched some TV with the wife, and had a nice little dinner that she cooked, and I did a bunch of other stuff. And tomorrow I'm going, and it's Christmas, man. I love this time of year. I actually slept last night for like more than 4 hours. So yes, I am fired up.
Are you speaking to Ronnie J?
Yeah, he's telling me to take a chill pill, man. I'm ready to go. Let's go. So, and we got all this we got Mandalorian to talk about. We got years of Star Wars to talk about. Lucasfilm going on. So I mean, there's a ton of stuff, Ronnie. But that's so this is what people are discussing. We don't know. We know that it's linear, but we don't know how much time has passed from the end of season 1 to the beginning of season 2. And if you watch by the way things are rebuilt, it's obviously that Din Djarin's been gone for a while. Gorgu he's still a child, but he seems to have matured a lot. Is that because he's remembering his Jedi training that he kind of gave himself amnesia from? Or whatever. And then when does that tie into the end of Rebels? We were never given an exact date when the end of Rebels happens, because there's a time jump at the end of Rebels when they're going to go off to find Thrawn. And now we're getting this. We're going to talk about this later, but now we're getting this Ahsoka series. So this Ahsoka being in here was kind of a, hey, everybody that's watching The Mandalorian, you millions of people, here's a character that most of you have never heard of or know about, but she's getting her own show. So now there's some interest in there. But we don't know when that show takes place yet. Is it what happened after the Clone Wars till now? Is it what happens, Did they already go and look for Ezra and come back because they only looked for a year? And the way the time is, everything fits in little bits and pieces. So when she's looking for Thrawn, did she already go out with Sabine and try and find Ezra? And they couldn't find it, and and Sabine and Ahsoka split up and went their own ways. And said, okay, let's split up and try and figure out, and we're going to meet back up. So we don't know anything that's going on right now. And it's great because the whole place is wide open. Just like everything pretty much, and I'm going to use this term loosely, but all the experts, and I'm calling the experts anybody that has a podcast or a YouTube show. And so that's why I'm using it loosely because, hell. Everything that's predicted that would make sense for the way we know Star Wars that it is doesn't happen in the next episode. We expect this buildup of what's going to happen, and then we're going to get Ahsoka at the end. Nope, Ahsoka starts at the beginning of the episode. Everybody thinks that this last episode that we have is going to be the prison break, and it was the prison break, but it was the first frickin' 2 minutes of the thing, and everybody thought it was going to be this big prison break thing, blah, 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 and him gathering all the people to get out. Nope. Everybody said, Cara Dune's going to stay back at home, and because she's gone legit now, and she's just going to tell him where he is, and he's going to put his crew together to go break him out. Nope. Complete opposite. She goes with him and, gets in the middle of the shit to make everything happen. Basically the only thing you can expect out of Star Wars, if The Mandalorian, the first season and this season, especially this season, and the last few episodes, well, fuck it, the whole entire season, whatever you expect the unexpected, because
Exactly.
episode 2 of this season, everyone expected Boba Fett. And when I say everybody, obviously, I don't mean everyone, because if you know English, everyone is actually singular, because it doesn't actually mean, it doesn't mean, everyone is not a plural word. It is singular. So when I say everyone, you understand the meaning behind it, but I don't need to get into frickin' semantics with people. But, most people, or a lot of people, were upset that Boba Fett wasn't in the next one. Well, because like a book, like I've said this a million times, in the chapters, you come back later on, and you come back later on, and you could have 10 chapters later when it goes back to it in a book. It's not like a movie that you have to have it be linear to keep us, because we're watching TV and we're idiots watching and can't think for ourselves, so everything needs to be spoon-fed to us. Like, so... they can jump back and forth. If you're watching TV, if they skip 3 or 4 weeks and go back to something, people aren't going to be able to follow it and understand. And we got Patrick coming in now, too. Patrick, what's going on, man?
What's up, my dudes?
I'm on fire, and I don't even know why. And
He's on fire.
So then people were upset that, we don't get Boba Fett. And then everybody thinks, okay, and then everybody's talking about, well, are we going to get Boba Fett again the rest of the season? What's going to happen? What's the fight going to be? Because obviously Boba Fett has to fight Din Djarin to get his armor back. There's no way Din Djarin's going to give it to him. So what's going to happen that they fight? And how's the armor going to go back and just everything? And then it's like, oh, wait, no, he steals it back because Din Djarin's going to get his ass kicked by the imps. So he steals it back, and then he's like, well, I guess you are a Mandalorian because, you helped me out and did everything. So everything, like his brainwashing cult, is kind of stopping to be like, he's not really being held fast to these beliefs that he had. Just like we were talking about the other night when he takes off his helmet. He would have never done that. He would give up his life before he took off his helmet. Well, he takes off his helmet. He won't take off his helmet to get a piece of ass, but he takes his helmet off to save Grogu. And now, that's what Listen, me and Padme were talking the other day, and we decided that we can call it whatever the hell we want.
Fuck you, Michael, you were not.
Padme. There's one fucking A. P-A-D-M-E. Padme. It's not Padme.
All right, so anyways...
Carry on.
Okay, so and then people were complaining. Oh, well, well, not complaining, but people were talking about. Well, Din Djarin obviously has had his.
People were complaining about.
Well, no, but not like the idiots that complain. Just like people are saying, well, how come, the imps obviously know his facial recognition if they could do it. And it's like, well, no, it's probably because everything's so messed up and everything's so jumbled that, a lot of things like where's the ship isn't really that classified because no one's going to be able to get that information. And if they need to know who accessed the information, they have your facial scan now. So then they can go and find you and go through the records and find out who it is eventually. Or, it's like having your mugshot, or your fingerprints or whatever it is. And then, so it's like what if something does happen and they need to figure it out. But it wasn't like they needed his facial scan to unlock something. Somebody take it away. Let me get a breath.
So yeah, go ahead.
I've been talking for 19 minutes straight. Somebody help me out here.
Come on, Rural.
All right. I would say, and I was in a live chat earlier with some UK friends, and I'll give them a shout out here. They're Star-Lores, Lores. That's Phil and Robin. And I want to say, look up Star-Lores. All three of them fellas, and I love them dearly. They've been in my playlist for nearly a year. And in the live chat for chapter 15, oh, it's Matt Paynes. Yes, Phil and Robin and Matt Paynes. And Matty went into chapter 15 with some very heavy expectations. Nearly since, I want to say, because I've been following them boys for a long time, I want to say since chapter 1 of this story last year. He went in with some expects, and the only person that let him down was him himself. The storyteller has a story to tell you. It's not yours. Just be told a story. If you go into a story with expectations, the only person letting yourself down is you with your expectations. Put them down and walk away from them and just be told a story. Because I feel really bad for Matt Paines because he's got so many expectations that he's latching onto a story that's not his. When you can understand that it's not yours, then it becomes so much more difficult. And there's many more story coming up over these next coming years that don't have an expectation for it. Just be told a story. Kylo, your turn.
What's up?
Well, let's turn this over. Chapter 15. The Believer. Who amongst us four, who was the believer in your opinion? We've all seen it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, who in your opinion is the believer?
I would say I'm leaning more towards Cara Dune.
Patrick, how so?
At first, she didn't feel like Mayfeld was like necessarily the best choice for this whole thing going into this, and then by the end of it, she seemed to realize that maybe he's cut out for something more.
All right. Near the end, well, what we've seen from the middle of the story concerning Mayfeld.
You could say even Mayfeld was a believer in Mando in a way.
See, I would say that Din Djarin was the believer because he went against his views that he had, that he was raised with, that, you know, most of us don't. I mean, the majority, most people don't have fanatical views. And the people that do have fanatical views don't think their views are fanatical because they don't know any better, especially when he's been raised in this small commune, or, you know, you're surrounded by your own community and you don't go outside your community for anything because they're going to get you. And I can go into a whole other story about it right now. It'll probably get me freaking canceled. But we don't need that. We don't need that right now. Well, no, like there's certain parts in even the U.S. culture where I've been there and I've seen a cop walk by and a 2-year-old start crying because they've been taught the police are bad. They're going to take you away from the family. You never talk to the police. You never do that. And in some cultures, that's how they teach their kids, and that is part of the problem with the U.S. And that's kind of a fanatical, one time thing. But like with him, he's always taught, that with the Mandalorians, you never take off your helmet. You never do this. This is done like this. Whatever. And the Mandalorian armor is sacred. No one can touch it or wear it or do anything else. You never take it off. Like all these things that he's thought. And now he's learning that, you know what? My beliefs aren't right. That maybe the better belief is for the greater good, not necessarily, this creed that I was raised into. So he's learning to believe, that he was wrong. I don't know. Boom, there it is.
Okay, let me take a look at the chat, because something Dale wrote out caught my eye. I want to pinpoint it for sure. Dale said the believer is the imperial officer that questions them.
Because he believes in the cause of the Empire. So I would say there's several believers in this episode.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, that makes sense. But in the end, for me, in my opinion, I feel that it was Mayfeld from his conversation, in that I don't want to say it's a turbo tank. It's a sort of turbo tank, in his talking with Din about how the rules change, whether he changes helmets or removes helmets, and what's the difference. And by the end, when Kara sets him free, in his words, I feel Mayfeld has become the believer, in my opinion.
And something happened to Kylo. We lost Kylo. I don't know what happened to him.
He became one of the Force.
He'll be back.
He's always back.
I think he can put himself in. I don't know if that was just for the other ones or if that's kind of a. Can you not put yourself back in? Or was that for the other ones? Darth Roses. Is that like Guns N' Roses?
Sort of, kind of, but not really. In fractured mind, sort of, kind of, not way.
Okay. All right, so.
Yes.
So maybe there were many believers, or it was all about believers, and people, I don't know.
I can tell you Boba Fett believed in a new paint job.
Yes, he did.
Where's my new Boba Fett paint job? Black Series and Funko
Coming
Pop.
fall 2021 to a Black Series near you.
I saw something pretty interesting right before we went live concerning how and why maybe Boba Fett redone his armor. And to me, in my opinion, this makes sense, is because previous, his armor had that nearly closely same paint job. That makes sense?
I follow.
Okay. Then somebody else, that is Cobb Vanth, obtains that armor and carries it on for quite a while. And it's not in Boba's possession, it's in Cobb's possession. So the reason for Boba to repaint that armor is everything that was...
It was more or less used by somebody else with that other paint scheme.
Yes. So he covered that up, and this is the new beginning with Boba and his armor. Everything that was previous was by somebody else, that was something that belonged to him.
That's a good psyche idea, too. And the way I see it is, if Cobb would have made some enemies of some kind and somebody were to see just that armor, they might assume he's Cobb and want to get revenge. So by him repainting it, he's like taking on that new beginning.
Yes. Yep. Yes, Dale. It's spoilers all the time here. This is what we do.
That's what we do. Welcome to the spoiler chat.
Welcome to Wikipedia research.
That's a different podcast that's reaching for I'm listening.
All right, let's keep it together. All
Wait,
right,
too
so here we go. Today at the Walt Disney Investors Call, all right, we already know about this. So Rogue Squadron. The next Star Wars feature film will be Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman franchise. The story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots. See, Royal Farboy can't talk about any of this because he'll then have to say, talk about expectations and speculating on what might happen. So he's going to have to be really quiet on all this stuff. The story will introduce a new generation of starfighting pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into the future of the galaxy. It sounds like a live-action Resistance.
In a similar way, but it seems like it's going to focus more on the New Republic.
Yeah.
And not just a small cell of the Resistance.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long time dream of filmmaker, as a daughter of a filmmaker, a fighter pilot. Okay, so that's pretty much all we know about that one. Anybody? Anyone? I know. Oh, hang on. Let's do this. I don't know if we're allowed to or not, but we'll do it anyways.
I've watched it 10 times. I love it. Got no audio.
What do we got?
All right, so that really doesn't tell us anything.
However, can you pause on the logo there, Michael? Go back and pause on the logo. I have just learned something about the show, and that is a T-70, sir. That is either going to be set post Return of the Jedi, or it's going to be some sort of like old scrapper type from the Resistance era. So this could either be between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, or it could be post Rise of Skywalker.
Copy that, Patrick. A T-70 X-Wing is right before Force Awakens and right in that space. So
Yeah, the Resistance uses some surplus ones from the New Republic. And the fact that they're saying New Republic, I'm leaning more towards this is going to take place in that gap between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. They're going to set some stuff up. And that seems to be a really popular era to hash it out in right now for content. With Mandalorian now kind of setting up the beginning of that. And if this like leans closer and closer more towards setting up like the Bloodline era, like maybe later on, or heck, they could even stick it right in the middle and tell some news stories right in the middle too. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it would.
Yes, a T-70 is an X-wing deal. So you got the T-65B, which is the one everybody knows. That's the classic one from the original trilogy. Then you got your T-70, which is the one which when we first saw it, we were like, oh, cool, new X-wing. And then when you watch Force Awakens, you kind of find out that that's actually not the newest one. I want to say it's the T-85, correct?
I believe so.
See, the T-80 or T-85 is the one that the New Republic is using, and that's like the top of the line around the time of Force Awakens starting.
Copy that. T-85 is the newest.
And you see it in the very first episode within the first minute of Star Wars Resistance. You do get a canon look at that.
Yep. That's one.
Season 1, Episode 1 of Resistance. So there you go, Mike. We're looking probably at Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens era, somewhere in there. And this is going to be a feature film on the big screen.
Yeah, and I think the only reason we got this, and this isn't really an original thought. I'm just kind of going along with what a lot of other people said. The reason that we got this, like, what does this really mean? Like, why? It's to let people know, like, this shit's really happening. Like, we have her. And this is why it's going to be good, because she probably knows the stories, and she's heard of what it's actually like to grow up trying to be a fighter pilot, which that's what these guys are, just in, a different world and in different machines. So it's going to be along the lines of, letting us know, and it was more not letting us know, letting the investors know, hey, look at what we have going on. And she's made a great movie that we know of already. We have another movie coming out on Christmas Day that you can sit your ass in your chair at home and watch it, or you can go to the movie theater if your theaters are open, because Warner Brothers is gonna release all of their movies that they released in the theaters on HBO Plus. At the same time. So that's something that's going to be pretty amazing. So if you don't have HBO Plus, I'm not a spokesperson, but I just found out that I've had HBO Plus for about 3 months.
HBO Max, sir.
HBO Max. That's all the same thing. You guys know what I'm talking about.
That Disney Max. Got to get that Disney Max.
Yeah, so basically, all you really need anymore is HBO and Disney. You don't need to watch anything else. Everything you need is there. I mean, yeah, you could turn on something for. I got Amazon Prime, so there's that too. But I can't tell you really the last time. And Live It. Don't forget you need Live It, because then you can watch me. So go ahead, and I don't know if you can read your screen right now, but it says download and watch me on Live It, which I know at least 2 of the people here. Oh, actually 3 of the people that are on screen right now have it.
Ooh, this is awkward.
Yeah. Canon 136. What are you waiting for? Over. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Anyways, all right, let's get back to this shit before I keep going off about whatever God only knows. Okay, then we have an untitled Taika Waititi film, a brand new Star Wars feature with acclaimed filmmaker and Academy Award winner Taika Waititi is in development. Taika's approach to Star Wars will be fresh, unexpected, and unique, said Kennedy. His enormous talent and sense of humor will ensure that audiences are in for an unforgettable ride. Like, I love Solo. I want Solo 2 to happen. I think if they would have had Taika Waititi be the original director of Solo, that we would have had an amazing film to come out of it. But they had the other 2 guys. Patrick probably knows her name off the top of his head. Benioff and Weiss, yeah. And they went more of a slapstick comedy, which they didn't want. They wanted. I'm assuming I'm not, Disney head or anything like that. I would give head to some Disney people, though. Never mind. Anyways, then the Septic Tank comes out. Anyways, so, Dale, the Americans is pretty good. But Amazon Prime does have some good stuff on it, though. That I've been watching. Yes, Amazon Max Prime Plus. Anyways, so if they would have had, if he would have been the original director, I think we would have got an amazing Solo film. And the reason everybody knows the reason it went over budget was because they had to make it twice, so they didn't have any money to market it, which they could have thrown some money into marketing, and then we would have never had this problem. But anyways, that's a whole other conversation itself. But yeah, they made it slapstick, and they wanted it more of a serious, funny thing. Like I think we're going to get out of Taika Waititi's film. It's going to be a lot of dry humor. They probably made it like a Spaceballs kind of thing, which is a great movie. It's just not Star Wars, and Anybody have any thoughts? Anybody want to speculate? So I guess Royal Farmboy's out of this one. What the Taika Waititi film is going to be about? Could we get a High Republic film? Although it hasn't been. It's been told that it's just going to be right now books. But
well, Acolyte's a TV show, and that I imagine will be out by either late 2022 or early 2023. And I imagine since what's her name there, Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins, her movie's not coming out till Christmas 2023. Taika's movie will probably not show up until at the earliest summer 2024 or Christmas 2024. So I'm assuming, since that would be around the same time or right after Acolyte, now that they're setting up some live action High Republic stuff, if that project goes off without a hitch, you can guarantee that you'll be seeing Taika and his stuff on the big screen the following Christmas, yeah. And by then, if you think about it, if that shows out 2023, give it a year, season 2 of The Acolyte will already be on TV when Taika's movie hits theaters. Or it'll be just wrapping up season 2.
And everything's going to be tied in together. And we just found out some of the later books that we're going to be getting in the middle of next year have been moved up by a month or so.
A week.
A week, a month. It's all. Listen, we've been waiting 5 years for this shit, okay? Does a week or a month really matter? We should already be on our second or third set of books by now. But whatever happened, and we didn't. So I was going to be sitting on my airplane right now, or back in August, sitting on my airplane, flying to California, reading my book, and none of that happened. So, but yeah, Patrick, thank you for bringing me in and let me know that it's a week, not a month. But still, man, the sooner we get it, the better.
So what do you think about my theory?
I think that's pretty good. I think it would make sense for them to try and keep things.
It would be a good thing since that's the Acolyte's kicking off High Republic on Disney Plus as a streaming show. That's your little nugget. And this is kind of like almost like after Solo came out, they were like, yeah, that probably could have been done as a Disney Plus thing and not a movie. So they're going to test High Republic and see if that's the direction they want to go. And if the first episode or two of Acolyte are really, really good, generally that first pilot episode gives the audience a good feel of what the show is going to be about. Then I think once that happens, they'll be like, okay, Taika, this is how the audience reacted to that first episode. This is how we need this structured for the movie the following year. So that gives him enough time to work all of that out. I'm sure the story will stay the same, but how certain things in the story or production-wise in terms of filming, they might do some stuff or change it up. And yes, Mr. LA, make rural farm boy loved again.
I am. I have many more new friends that maybe yins don't see that, but where I used to be and what I was familiar with, I got many more new friends because it's how big is the galaxy? I found many more new friends to replace the folks that didn't want to reach out or take the time to ask me about what was going on. But no, I'm good.
Yep.
And I want to say thank you. G, I'm in my best place, same as I always been, and I'm grateful that you put that out for me, but I'm still in a good spot, bud, and we're carrying on.
I want to do a little pop singing right now. I've been doing a bunch of singing on Live It. Not that I'm very good at it, but it's kind of like a little karaoke and shit. Kylo just rolled his eyes. He's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck's gonna happen now?" But no. Oh, it's bananas. Bananas.
Oh,
that's
no.
Yeah. Chuckles. That's from
This
Chuckles.
tank is bananas. Bananas.
It is. I'm not sure what Dale's talking about those idiots for.
I mean, I guess it's not the C word because that's what bothers Kylo.
Yeah.
Kylo, brother, we're good. Oh, I see Charlie Skywalker is in the chat. But I want to take and turn us around because the last thing on my screen I'm seeing is the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And we were told that what's to come in this story concerns.
Well, hold up. Let's get right to it. So last August at D23 Expo, Lucasfilm announced the return of Ewan McGregor in the iconic role of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi for the special event series on Disney Plus. So special event series, we were led to believe that it is not going to be a long time series. It's probably going to be like 6 episodes or something like that, because we were first told that we had a movie, and then that kind of changed, and there was a lot of BS too. My thing about this, well, I'll finish this and I'll get to my BS story about the scripts. Officially titled Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series begins, because we know they don't do anything original, Solo, Kenobi. All right, let's go. The series begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where he faced his great defeat and downfall and corruption of his best friend and Jedi apprentice, Anakin Skywalker turned evil Sith Lord Vader. The series is directed by Deborah Chow, who helmed memorable episodes of The Mandalorian Season 1. She had some kick-ass episodes, and everyone was like, give her a freaking movie. Well, they just gave her a 6-hour movie, or maybe a 3.5-hour movie. I don't know, depending on how they break up, but this will truly be a day long remembered, as it was confirmed that Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader. This will be the rematch of the century, Kennedy said. This was such an incredible journey, playing Anakin Skywalker with Christensen. Of course, Anakin and Obi-Wan were on the greatest of terms when we last saw them. I would say that, yeah, that's kind of like how we feel about some people that used to hang out in the SEPTIC tank. It will be interesting to see what an amazing director like Deborah Chow has in store for all of us. I'm excited to work with Ewan McGregor. I just added words on there. It feels good to be back. Take it away, Sam.
Start us off, Kyla.
So I want to go and ask, are friends happy that Hayden is to be included in this story? Because I am.
All right, well, for those of you that are still immersed in the cesspool of Twitter, was there a lot of backlash knowing that we are going to get a face-off between Vader and Obi-Wan again? Because as of
it's been mixed.
As of Star Wars, before it became A New Hope, when we didn't know anything about them, and now we find out later through other things that the last time they fought was at the Battle of Mustafar, or at Mustafar. That's the last time that they fought. We were never told that, but that's just what we assumed and what we figured and what we speculated. So people's expectations are, okay, just like we were led to. I believe it is canon that Obi-Wan thought that he was dead and didn't realize that he was alive until later on. It's revealed when he was at a bar or something doing some investigation and found out about Vader and found out that Anakin was still alive. Maybe anybody can help me out with that one, because I'm not exactly 100%.
Was that a comic or was that one of the books?
I think that was a comic. That Obi-Wan didn't learn that Anakin was still alive until years later.
So is it possible that more than likely he's going to win this battle pretty much hands down, just about to the point where we think maybe he's killed Vader?
I'm not sure in this timeline. Yes, Rural.
The last that we have seen when Obi-Wan faces Vader was the first time in A New Hope. And in that confrontation, Vader says, "You should not have come back." The previous time,
I never thought about it that way.
Shown that Obi-Wan faced, I'll say Anakin, but at that time his name was Darth Vader before he was in the suit. That would be Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. In between that time, until we was told in The New Hope, when Vader told Obi-Wan, you should not have come back. There's a story to be told there that we're not told yet. Do you take my meaning? Does that make sense?
I completely agree with you.
Yes.
I'm just
the story we're going to be told.
I was just asking because I don't go on Twitter that much anymore because it's a bunch of freaking idiots that are like, oh my God, he put an extra O in the word poop. So now he must mean that he hates grapefruit because there was pineapple on somebody's pizza.
Stay on target.
That was on target. Their shit makes absolutely no sense.
You're getting off the rails. Stay on target.
I was staying on target. That's why I was asking you guys what's going on in the discourse world, because for the longest time this was their meeting, and then they don't meet again until they meet. Although it's not in the timeline the proper way of the way the movies were released, they fight at Mustafar, and then they don't fight again until Episode 4. That's all we know.
Now we're being told there's a story that we're not familiar with yet. One that we ain't been told that makes the reason for Vader saying you should not have come back.
So that's what I'm asking.
We're not told yet.
Are there a bunch of idiots going, oh, they're retconning the story, it was never told like that? It's like, because there was no story that was told. We don't have the story in between there. So what are we going to get? And then, this opens it up for, what happened with Obi-Wan? Why was he there? Did he know that he had to go do something? And, it's a brand new story we haven't been told. So it's wide open, just like The Mandalorian's wide open. And we think we know what's going on. And then we get the next episode and we're completely ass backwards on what we were thinking. That's just what I was saying. I'm not saying that I don't think anything should have happened. I'm trying to figure out, okay, we find out in the comic that Obi-Wan thought he was dead, which the movie and TV show is going to supersede the comic if they decide, whatever. But Obi-Wan thought Anakin, Darth Vader, whatever you want to call him, it's still one and the same, just like Ben Solo and Kylo Ren, same person. People that love Ben but hate Kylo, they're freaking idiots because they're the same person. One's just in a better mood than the other one. So it's the same thing. You just change your name or whatever because you want to be angry and have your teenage emo phase or whatever it is. So like that was just my only question. So is this going to happen? This says it's 10 years after. Does anybody know in the comic? Are they gonna? Is that gonna kind of supersede the comic? What did he find out?
As I recall, that was on a bar on Tatooine, right? If not the cantina we know of.
It was at a bar, cantina, someplace.
It was pretty closer to A New Hope, or I would say closer to the events of when we see him again in Rebels. But it's been a while since I've read the comic issue that you're talking of specifically. I think I've only read it once or twice, so I don't remember exactly when in the timeline that takes place.
Okay.
We do know now, though, that this takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. And Revenge of the Sith, because Luke is 19, Luke and Leia are 19 in A New Hope, we know that Revenge of the Sith is 19 BBY. So you add 10, or you subtract 10 from that because it's 10 years the opposite direction. So this is going to take place in 9 BBY. Somebody accidentally said 11 BBY the other day, but they were doing their math reverse. Yeah, that was the other thing. Last time we met, I was a student, but now I am the master, which is kind of interesting because if you go back and look at that fight in Revenge of the Sith on Mustafar, Anakin was very arrogant. He wasn't pretending like, oh, I'm the student, I'm still the Padawan. No, he was very arrogant in a way. So there's almost like we always thought that, yeah, he was the Padawan of Obi-Wan. We took it too literally. But looking back on it, Anakin was very, very arrogant in that fight that he was definitely just going to destroy Obi-Wan. He had like that master mentality.
He was also very prideful.
He's very prideful. But now looking at it as maybe this fight happened, maybe Anakin's starting to realize, even though he's on the dark side, that maybe Obi-Wan's going to do some things that even he didn't know Obi-Wan was capable of, even back then. Now that Obi-Wan's been on Tatooine for, say, 10 years protecting Luke, he's done some stuff. And we know from the comics he's spent some time doing stuff with Luke and Owen and Beru. And he's been through some stuff with, I think, some Tusken Raiders in that time, and some just the general riffraff. So, and then a bunch of other untold stories we have no idea about where he's been on.
So when does the Obi-Wan Maul fight take place? Isn't that about 10?
That takes place in about 1 BBY, right before A New Hope.
Makes sense.
I thought that
Before you knew Hook.
Luke was literally like 17 or 18 during that fight.
I thought it was a lot younger.
He looks tiny in that shot at the very end of that episode. You see his silhouette off in the distance. He looks like a really short young child, but it's just a weird distance situation. He's not actually that short.
Maybe,
he's a generally short character as is, but he's not that short.
Maybe I'm mixing up that and when Obi-Wan would have to come and help defend the homestead.
And that was when he was way, way younger. That's way before this. That's probably set. I forget when that specific issue is. But if I remember, I think Luke is closer to either 5, 6, or 7, somewhere in that range. And I would probably put that around 14 to 13 BBY, somewhere in there in the comics. But it's kind of weird because that story was told in the Journal of Ben Kenobi. So I don't know if we have an actual set date on those events.
Okay. Yeah, so and here's something interesting. This is why we keep you around, Texas Prophet. Perhaps he was just a student to Palps.
Who was?
Vader.
Oh, you're saying because he's been with Palpatine for so long, he's saying I was once almost like a Sith student. Now I feel like I'm more like a Sith master, even though I still serve him.
And it wasn't.
You think about it, Vader and Palpatine have had close contact for 19 years by that point of the fight in A New Hope.
I mean, at the time when,
including their time where he was a senator, they still had that friendship even through all that in the prequels.
At the time when the movie was made, and we didn't know or think we were going to get a second one, it might have a different meaning now than it did then. Just because, that's what happens when you think you're going to make one movie, and you make one movie, and it ends up being an IP that has literally changed the world, because you walk down the street and you see people wearing Star Wars t-shirts or hats or whatever. There's stores dedicated just to it. There's franchises for it. It's a huge franchise. It's part of amusement parks. You turn on the TV and there's a good chance that, in a TV program, there's going to be some, especially a comedy or, some nerd stuff, there's going to be a reference, at some point to Star Wars.
Of references.
To Star Wars or, a line or a quote or whatever that happens. So, now it's like, okay, well, we can play around with this a little bit. It's not really changing anything, but what we always thought this meant isn't really what it means, because we now have 80 years to fill of a story or whatever you want to, however you want to put it.
I have some good news that I've just made a discovery with the timeline now, Mike. I don't want to give anybody too much hope, but so we know this Obi-Wan series now takes place in 9 BBY, correct?
10.
It's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So, 9 years before A New Hope. So, that's 9 BBY. And I was just looking at this. The beginning of Solo: A Star Wars Story, that little beginning of the movie, takes place in 13 BBY. But by the time we end Solo: A Star Wars Story, that is 10 BBY, only 1 year before the events of the Obi-Wan series. And where were Chewie and Han going at the very end of Solo: A Star Wars Story in 10 BBY?
That is a story I feel we have yet to be told.
But who are they going to see, Rural?
They're going to see Jabba.
And where is Jabba?
That is a story we have yet to be told.
They're going to Tatooine. We don't know what stories they're told after that, but they were going to Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
And who's on Tatooine right now that's going to be in 9BBY? Obi-Wan Kenobi. What if we get a little Alden and Jonas quick cameo at the cantina?
We can only hope.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can. But we can only hope. Let's
And I'm not trying to get everybody's hopes up there, but I'm looking at the timeline and I'm putting two and two together here, and I went, huh.
Great. If it doesn't happen, Patrick ruined my childhood. Thanks.
I'm just saying, man.
All right, and then next we already brought this up. We have Ahsoka. After making her long-awaited live-action debut in The Mandalorian, Ahsoka Tano's story, written by Dave Filoni, will continue in a limited series starring Rosario Dawson and executive produced by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau.
Johnny Fabs.
So, once again, it's a limited series. Don't know what that means yet. I mean, we have to assume that it's going to be
It's built up to the climactic event they mentioned.
But, I mean, is that going to be, 2 episodes, 4 episodes, 6 episodes, 8 episodes?
It seems like every time they say limited series, because I think Obi-Wan is also 8 episodes. I'm assuming Ahsoka's they're going to stick with 8 episodes as well.
I mean, Obi-Wan was a movie, and then it turned into 8 episodes, and then it was 6 episodes, and then they had to rewrite it because it was too much like The Mandalorian. And my whole thing is, you're telling me the story group that is in charge of all this shit didn't realize that the 2 stories were so identical they were going to have to scrap the entire thing and rewrite it and redo it. I think that's just a bunch of bullshit, and they never had shit. And Kathleen Kennedy just told us what we wanted to hear and get us excited and have 10,000 people in that arena screaming at the top of their lungs, losing their shit, and so that Scotty Jarrow could make a video that got 3 million views on it. Or whatever. I know that's a completely different time, but you know what I'm saying. So it's just get us hyped up for something. So tell us, we got the movie ready to go. Not realizing what rabid fans, Star Wars fans are. And I don't know what the hell just happened there. It's like the aliens are coming to get us.
I am glad they didn't announce it as a movie, though, because could you imagine the backlash they would have gotten if it would have come out that, hey, we're making the movie, and then all of a sudden they change it a year later, and they're like, we turned it into a TV show. Man, that would have made a lot of people more mad.
But okay, so let's go. Ahsoka. Are we getting Ahsoka? When are we getting Ahsoka? When's this going to take place, or is it going to be
It's a concurrent during the events of The Mandalorian, so whatever that means.
Yes, that's what we're told. And if I got any one thing to say about that, I will say this is in the timeline 5 years-ish after all of the Empire. I will say the only thing I can say is tell me a Star Wars story, because I've got a spot for it in my playlist.
So we're going with that. This is Ahsoka: The Search for Thrawn.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. It's still too early.
But if it's taking the place at the same time as The Mandalorian, that's what she was searching for.
We can assume it's only after that episode. And then on top of that, Dave Filoni's been putting some potential red flags out that maybe this all took place before the very end of the epilogue of Rebels, Season 4. So maybe this could be filling in the gap from when we just saw her in Mando leading up to the end of Rebels Season 4.
I mean, that's what I was saying. We don't know exactly where everything falls in the timeline, and we know what it's about. But you know what? If I'm telling you my story, what happened to me in the last 10 years and things that interact. If I'm telling you a story from, a year ago, things a lot in my life were a lot different a year ago than they are now.
Yeah.
So someone that may have been in my life a year ago may not be in my life any longer. So that's how, you kind of have to figure out where is it. So, did Rebels skip ahead 5 years, or was it 6 years, or maybe only 4 years? Because we don't know. And then
We don't know the end of Rebels.
this is what I was saying to Earl earlier. How much time passes between one and Mandalorian season 1 and season 2?
We don't know.
It could be a few weeks, which I doubt because they rebuilt an entire city and got everything up and running again. It's probably a few months, maybe 6 months, could be a year. Don't really know. So that means that what we have going on is now, 6 years after Jedi. So, what happened? Did they already go and come back and can't find, now everybody's missing? Or, everything's all completely open and it's freaking amazing.
They had time to make an IG statue.
All I gotta say is set your expectations down on the floor, walk away from them, and be told a Star Wars story.
No, set your expectations through the roof. Set your speculation to the bottom.
Have you felt it?
No, put your expectations down and just be told.
Oh no, because I expect this to be amazing. What I speculate on it being, that's a different story.
Then you're setting yourself up for.
No, I expect it to be amazing.
No. Set your expectations to the roof. Set your speculation to the bottom. Have you felt it?
Shut off your other microphone, Michael. You got double copy.
Nope, that was me accidentally.
No, that's I think that's Kylo playing with his recorders to trying to get sounds, and we're gonna. He wants to be able to play sound bites in future episodes, so he's trying to get shit on us.
Anytime Mike contradicts himself, he's just gonna click play.
Oh, what happened to Kylo? What happened to Kylo? Oh man, he's gone again.
Did you boot him that time?
Oh, hey, buddy, what happened? What happened, Rose's Rebel?
Some bitch keeps canceling me. The goddamn bastards. Wait, am I supposed to be here? I don't know. Is that why you keep cutting me out? Because I'm not supposed to be here?
No, there.
You know who I am?
No, there's six.
Let me just say because there's another one that was canceled. Hey, look, jackasses, the Force is strong with me. Just so you know.
I know.
But you're allowed, Kylo, you're allowed to be here because there's 7 people watching.
Oh.
Woo!
Woo! 7. There he goes. Now it's gonna go up.
8. Now we got people we got people watching, or we got people in the chat talking, and we got people on here talking. So, and people that are being here of their own free will, not because they feel sorry for me because I'm a losing piece of shit. Anyways, okay. TK.
Or
so
your fake fantasy boyfriend doesn't bring everybody with.
Kylo, you are my fake fantasy boyfriend.
Well, I guess I brought the other 6 people with me, or 7 people.
All right, so time jump to her longer Leku at the end of Rebels. That
could explain it. That's the dead giveaway there. Could you imagine?
I mean, we were told the reason that they were shortened was because they were using practical effects and didn't want to use special effects, and for the martial arts, they couldn't make them.
Could be partially true. Partially true that, yes, it helped them in terms of doing the stunts, but can you also imagine if it's true that, well, you remember all that stuff where they were shorter before the end of Rebels? Yeah, that was also true.
I mean, yeah, but if you're saying that her Leco grew 6 inches or a foot in a year, that's completely wrong because they
Well,
grow
we don't
very
know how
slowly
long
over
it's
time.
been still also as well.
Well, you're both wrong. Iron Man 420, thank you for stopping by. How are you doing? We're recording a little podcast right now.
Sounds kind of silly to me why folks want to bring science into a Star Wars fantasy story. Don't bring science into it because it's got no place.
Except maybe a little biology.
Yes, don't just be told a story. Don't bring science into it because there's no place for it. Carry on.
What's next, Michael?
I'm muted. I was muted. People are going insane over it, and it's like, dude, it's really not that big of a deal. Why are you mad? Oh, because your cosplay that you fucking made is now inaccurate. It's no longer screen ready compared to what the cartoon was, and we know that. Who really cares? Like, unless you're in the 501st, the 501st is going to kick you out because now you got to shorten your leku by 6 inches.
I can say first because I was former and I know what them regulations mean, but carry on.
I mean,
Oh, he got mute. Somebody's canceling his ass.
No,
and
he's doing
muting
his
on the
live it
screen.
stream at the same time.
Oh, he's all right. He's
double streaming.
advertising. He's advertising over there. All right.
He's got to make that money for his books.
Hey, I tried. Hey, guys. Shit, Patrick.
Yeah.
I made it through the whole episode. I fell asleep during our after chat on Thursday night.
Oh yeah, we noticed.
It was rough, dude. I was up so damn early, and I wanted to take a nap, and then I had a side job roll up on me, so I couldn't get that nap in because I was doing a side job.
Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 hours after we finished the post episode stuff. Like, I was woken up by the contractors working on my house, banging literally their hammers on the wall right next to my head.
Oh shit!
So I'm like, okay, time for me to wake up. So I got about a 2.5 hour nap after I got done talking with Michael. Michael actually had to almost wake me up at one point because I started nodding off midstream in the middle of our discussion. We were pushing about, I don't know, it was almost 6 a.m. by the time we finished the other night.
6 a.m. your time?
East Coast, yeah.
Because I fell asleep.
Fell asleep around 3 your or a little after 3 your time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I remember I watched the episode. I was like 20 seconds behind you guys.
Yeah, you started discussing with us for a little bit.
And then, then I kind of like doomed myself because I went and crawled in the bed and laid down because I'd been up for so long. And then I woke up and then it was playing nothing but a bunch of TooMedToo videos throughout the rest of the night because it goes to the next video.
The next video in the feed, yeah, autoplay.
So I woke up to like one of the septic tanks. I was like, oh shit, I remember this.
So, friends, we only got one more chapter, 16, yet to go. Where and how, I don't speculate.
You mean 16 more confirmed chapters to go?
What are we going to be told in this last chapter before we got to wait a year?
Until Christmas, they're saying, right?
Season 3. What do you think's going to go on? What are we going to be told in this last chapter?
They've got to leave us on a massive cliffhanger. And as we recall, we still have no idea what was up on that at the lab on Navarro. They never really answered that whole situation. They said that these people died and that they needed donors, but we didn't really get the answer as to the why they were doing it. And I'm wondering if in this last episode of the season, if we will get that why they were doing it.
We shall see.
And then also on top of that, why bring back Boba Fett? That was never really answered. He's got a role in the story too. He's not just going to be everybody's chauffeur and, friendly neighborhood bounty hunter. He's got a bigger role to play moving forward in this show too.
He does.
So where does Boba Fett play into all of this? And if I had to take a big fat guess, they're really leaning heavy ever since season 1 on this whole Camino cloners thing. And if there's anybody that's still alive in the timeline now, that anywhere even close to the cloning, it's Boba Fett, because he's a clone himself.
He is.
So I think they're just trying to keep anything cloning related as a familiarity. I cannot talk tonight. They're trying to make it a familiar tying thread between all the different story arcs, that something's going on with cloning that's been in our face the whole time. Over or under 50%, do you guys think that they will answer this cloning conundrum in this finale episode next week?
Michael, you're first.
He's talking to Liv. Let's start with Kylo.
Repeat the question, please, because I was in the middle of sending a text to my sister.
Oh, you're good. Over or under 50%, they will answer this whole thing with the cloning situation in the finale of season 2 next week.
I don't think so.
I'm also leaning towards, I don't think they're going to give us a direct answer. They might give a tease, but I don't think they're going to give a full answer.
Yeah, I would say I lean towards, you said over under 50% or over under 50. I'm going to lean
50%,
towards, I'm going to lean towards the under, but the higher the under 50 that they might give us a insight of the cloning, but I don't think they're going to get to that aspect just yet.
How about you, Rural?
I'm going to say, as I've said always, from chapter 1 to chapter 8 and season 2, chapter 9 to where we are now at chapter 15, we're going to be told a story that we're not ready for. It's not something that we never expected. So chapter 16 is something that I can't say that has to do with cloning. We're not ready for this. This is beyond anyone's expectations. It happened all through the first season and the second season. Folks I've seen and heard and listened to in my trailer and every other way and on YouTube, we're not ready for this. This is going to be a story that we're going to be told we're not ready for it, but you better be ready for it. Just set your expectations down on the floor and walk away from them, because we're really not ready for this. But
I'm feeling the same way with you there, because I don't remember who it was, but somebody tied to Lucasfilm, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, put a post out on Twitter that basically said that there was going to be no spoilers for the final 3 episodes of the season, mainly because they wanted to surprise everybody. But 2, they also said these last 3 episodes are going to change Star Wars, and that it's going to do some really crazy stuff. So I think you're right on the money there in terms of we are not ready for this finale and what it's going to reveal to us.
No, we're not ready. just keep told a Star Wars story.
All right, take us home, Michael.
I'm still saying, man, I expect great things for this. That's what my expectation is. My speculation won't really have any effect on if I think it's good or not. It's just if it's good. So Earl and I are disagreeing on if we expect it to be good or not, and then what we speculate on it. So, anyways, all right. Rangers of the New Republic, set within the timeline of The Mandalorian. Oh, that's, this new live-action series from the executive producer. Wait, did I? Oh, no, it's pretty much the exact same writing. Set with the timeline of The Mandalorian, this new live-action series from the executive producer Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will intersect with future stories and culminate into a cinematic story event.
This one made me laugh because
it's the Cara Dune story.
Everyone seems to think it's the Cara Dune story, but I'm not sure.
Sounds like. But,
now we know she's a marshal. She's not considered a ranger. So is this a prequel Cara Dune story, or is this something they say it's going to run during the Mandalorian timeline? It's going to run concurrent with it. So are these new characters, or is she going to become a ranger of the New Republic?
But see, then we're also asking, what is the definition of within the Mandalorian timeline? Does it mean within the Mandalorian timeline? Is that from start to finish? Or is it just about the same timeline, maybe a year or two before, maybe a year or two after?
Or maybe it'll catch up later.
Yeah, I mean, that's within the timeline, depending on, if the Mandalorian takes place over 4 years in this timeline, and then on the same, you could have the same timeline, and it just be a year or two before, a year or two after. So, that's all still, once again, that's all up to speculation. And if you're going to take it verbatim for the way it's written, because it really might not mean that. So that could be, they're just giving us an idea that it's after Jedi. It's maybe, 3 to 10 years after Jedi. I would say mandatory or Mandalorian timeline. If the Mandalorian runs, 5 years and it lasts for 2 or 3 years, a year or two before, a year or two after, I would still consider that being in the timeline.
Well, in my opinion, I take it as we were told that story of the Rangers, it falls into stories after Return of the Jedi in that timeline, which has 35 years between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. I feel it's the former, which is in after Return of the Jedi, that there's many more stories to be told there yet that we're not familiar with. That's my thoughts, in my opinion.
Yeah, but like Dale said, we're not ready for anything. Everything we've predicted has been wrong. And right before that, he said that, we've been speculating about it all year. Exploring possibilities is the most fun part of Star Wars. It's when people have what they speculate on when it doesn't come true, that their expectations of the quality of the product is diminished, when it just means that you were freaking wrong. I can't tell you. I'll give you 10 different scenarios on what I think is going to happen next week, and none of them might come true. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be a kick-ass freaking episode. And Dale said that Rangers is going to be about Snoke. I might be running a little bit behind, but yeah.
Snoke.
But okay. Snoke, that lanky piece. What? Okay. Lando. Everyone's favorite scoundrel, Lando Calrissian, will be in a brand new event series for Disney Plus. a new event series, so we're going to get more than one season, it looks like.
It is or isn't a limited event series.
It says brand new event series. So we don't know yet if it's going to be multi-seasonal.
They're leaving it open. Basically, it sounds like they're going to wait and see how the first season goes.
Or maybe they've,
Well, they've already planned it out because timeline. Yeah, it'll probably be at least 2 seasons.
But I think they're not going to say, okay, let's do 2 seasons of this or 4 seasons of that, and we'll see how it goes afterwards. I think they have it planned on, this is the story, this is how we have it, and this is what we're going to get. Whether or not, I think that they, maybe with The Mandalorian, they knew we were going to get season 1 and season 2, and kind of left season 2 open to interpretation to see how it really ended, how it was taken. And that's like, okay, here, look, we have this story to go if we're going to do it for 2 years, but we have this story if it goes for 4 years. I don't think it's going to be like you go over to the UK or whatever. They run, a series can be in the height of their shit, and they're just like, okay, it's over, the story's over, we're done. Here in the U.S., it's like, oh, the story's getting viewers, let's keep it going until we run into the ground, and then everyone talks about how horrible the series ended up being because we had nowhere to go with it. So, if we would have just cut it after 2 or 3 years, it would have been great, but we were going to keep it going and just ruin it. Anyways, Justin Simeon, creator of the critically acclaimed Dear White People, and a huge Star Wars fan, is developing the story. Okay, so, and I'm just saying this because he's older and maybe not in the best health. We have Billy D. Williams narrating it.
Not confirmed. That was always a rumor.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Like, we got Billy D. Williams narrating it. If once they get it going, or they might say, hey, here's like this, what I was saying, they got 4 seasons, and this is once they have the scripts ready to go and everything, you just go and record them all. Just like How I Met Your Mother, all that How I Met Your Mother shit was recorded, all in the beginning. It wasn't recorded after each other and after each other and after each other going on as the story went. They recorded it, and then they recorded a bunch of different ways because they didn't know how the story was going to go. So those kids that are sitting there talking about how, when the dad's sitting there talking about how they met their mother, they had no idea how the story was going to end up because there were so many things that they were told and the way it happened because they didn't know where they got it after, a few seasons or 6 seasons or 10 seasons. So they just kept recording shit and filled it in as they went along. I don't think we're going to get that at all with Lando. I think they're going to be like, okay, here's our 4 stories, and here we're going to go. They might do a couple of different takes in case they need to, switch things up or do whatever. And if worst case scenario came into it and they did have to change things up because an actor dies or something happens and, they leave or whatever, they can get voice actors to come in and they can probably make it look like Billy D. Williams is talking and saying the words when he's no longer with us, or they change things or whatever. So,
question here for you, Michael. Can you scroll back up to the Kenobi thing real quick? I want to see something.
You know what? I can do that.
You know what? Does it say event series? Yes, it does. It says special event series for Obi-Wan, and we know that's only 1 season. Does that mean Lando is also 1 season?
Do we know Obi-Wan's 1 season?
They confirmed it was only going to be like 8 episodes or 6 episodes or whatever it is, and that was going to be it. So, like, I was just sitting there thinking about it. I was like, Lando, that's also saying special event series. I'm like, that's weird. I don't know. And then on top of that, when they debuted that with Kathy the other day, they showed an image of Lando's Falcon in the background. Was that because that's how we're connected to Lando around the timeline of Solo? Or is this going to be a prequel to Solo? Because everybody's trying to figure out where Lando is going to fit in the timeline. Is it pre-Solo or Is it going to be after the events of Solo?
I mean, that would, like, everybody was saying when we got Solo, the Calrissian Chronicles. Why don't we have the Calrissian Chronicles? Why aren't they making that? And is this could
That
be
might be what this is, yeah, as a prequel, like all the adventures leading up to Solo, all those chronicles.
It could be both.
Yeah.
It could be, it could span 15 years if it's him going over his memoirs, and that's why, it's being planned, and they might not know and have actors confirmed for it, and you might not need that. You could get an actor in this show that wasn't in. I mean, it would really suck if it was, and I'm just saying that maybe it wouldn't suck, maybe it would be great. If it wasn't, what's his name, who was in Solo?
Donald Glover.
Yeah, if it wasn't Donald Glover. If
this is a prequel, you can almost bet they're going to do like they're probably going to do on Andor, and they're going to show how he meets L3. Kind of like how they're already talking about in the Andor series, they might show how Cassian meets K2, even though we already got that in the comic.
Which can also change a little bit because they want to make it more fun for TV. Like, and
as we've seen with Aftermath now, it's not exactly 1-to-1.
And I mean, you look at Clone Wars and the Ahsoka book. It's a little bit different, but then again, it could be up to interpretation. And when things are done in print and said and told in a story, well, is it exactly how it happened, or is it how you remember it happened?
Oh.
Dale coming in.
Dale coming in with some fire. Starting off in the Billy D era, talking with Jana, but then you flash back and it would be our boy, our new boy there, as a young Lando telling his escapades. I like that idea, Dale. That's good. Because when somebody originally brought up the idea of Billy D narrating, I always thought it would be like almost like a was it Ron Howard Arrested Development situation?
So Billy
just kind of talking over it.
So Billy D is going to narrate it, telling Jana, "Hey, let's go find your parents." Then we find out that I am your father.
Oh,
Jana.
Can you imagine that twist to be like, "Oh, they've already done that, but man, that's cool."
No, Jana, I am your father.
And then she says, "No."
Yeah, TK Prophet really thinks that would be fucking cool if Billy D was on it. Now, Rural's arguing with everybody over expectations and speculations and speculums or whatever the hell's going on.
Don't have expectations.
If you expect something to be great, you expect it to be great. I want great. What I speculate on it happening is a different story. We're gonna.
But when you have expectations and you want a thing to happen and it doesn't, the storyteller didn't let you down.
Then that's your. Nobody said it did. That's your own fucking fault if you can't handle what you thought might happen not happening.
Exactly.
Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should be watching soap operas then, because they spoon feed you everything. And guess what? It wasn't. They didn't. She didn't die. It was her twin that she killed off. For whatever it was. So there you go. Nothing's really a secret anymore.
Andy from Holo Chronicles has returned. Say hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Andy's back.
Yeah. That idea was born on the septic tank. Therefore, I own the IP rights to it. The only one that can supersede that is Lucasfilm Limited Corporation itself, which I am in no way affiliated with, but hopefully will be someday in the story group in case they need just some idiot to just sit there and swear a lot. Okay, now back to go.
All rights reserved 2020, Lucasfilm Limited, Walt Disney Company. You're welcome.
Thanks, dude.
Tip your favorite lawyer. I am
Andy,
in no
what
way
the
an
hell?
actual lawyer or certified by the bar of any of the states of the United States.
Andy's
Copyright
selling
2020.
more stuff. What are you selling, Andy?
He's selling those good figs,
Yeah.
the good
You
stuff.
selling that good? You selling that good, that goodish?
Andy's got that 3.75. He's got that 6. He's
Oh,
got the good
damn.
stuff. He's got inbox and out of box.
Mhm.
Oh, shit. He's got the 3.75. I need some of that. I don't know about the 6, but
I don't know how much he charges for both. I guess it depends on a case by case basis.
oh, shit.
This stream is not sponsored by drugs.
I need some of that 3.75 Kush. I need some of that Dagobah twang.
Dagobah twang.
Come on, Andy, what you got? Yeah,
Well,
I've been quiet.
If I'm going to have a favorite lawyer, my favorite lawyer would be Tommy Harper, who's an Army JAG officer. And I hope Michael might know who I'm speaking to. And maybe also Andy might.
Yeah, he did. He did the court martial of.
Yep. Yep.
He did the mock court martial of what's his name?
No Dameron.
Poe Dameron. Because
Tommy's just the best.
all the people are like, why didn't she just tell him? Because that's not the way rank works, dude. Don't you know anything?
Everybody go follow Tommy Harper. Thomas L. Harper. Go follow him. He's just the best.
And I'm going to say my lawyer that I hope to have or that I think is the best is the one that goes golfing with the judge. Just saying.
Copy that.
Or hunting or fishing or whatever it is. You know. Because when you need
follow Tommy Harper.
When you need the benefit of the doubt, or it's like, hey, a little bit of leniency on my guy. If I get the bigger buck today, okay. And things like that happen. That is real life, people. Yeah, dude. How do you think listen? How do you think I stayed out of trouble my entire life?
You didn't.
You sort of kind of didn't, I don't expect.
You hid in your bedroom, whining and crying in front of a wood box.
I can tell you right now, I have never been convicted of a felony. I have a misdemeanor DWI. And that's it. Everything else on my record is a violation. But you know what? When your lawyer knows the judge and you can plead felonies down to a violation, that's why you want your lawyer that's a golfing buddy with the judge. Just saying. Not from personal experience. I just, things like that happen or whatever.
What are you asking for a friend, right?
Oh, no, I'm telling you that I know friends that it's happened to personally, maybe, or something like that.
Just what he just said. Just saying.
So, yeah, anyways, but I don't get in trouble anymore because I don't do anything wrong. So
exactly what Dale says. Don't get caught.
The only thing I do wrong any longer is not being politically correct.
I have that problem too, but I have that problem when I'm sitting in a courtroom.
Yeah, that's different though. But all right, Andor what? Get it? All right, that was for Andy. Andy-or. we know Andy's all about the dad jokes. So,
Andy or is that's a thing now. Andy or I like that.
Josh. All right.
Any t-shirt idea for you guys over at Beyond the Blast Doors, Andy or.
And then Josh at the bottom of it instead of Star Wars and the Star Wars lettering. Andor is a tense, nail-biting spy thriller created by Tony Gilroy. It is set to arrive on Disney Plus in 2022. Diego Luna, reprising the role of rebel spy Cassian Andor from Rogue One, will be joined by a fantastic new cast that includes Stellan Skarsgård, Adria Arjuna, Fiona Shaw, Denise Gurrow, Kylo Sawyer, and Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma.
Whoa.
Production kicked off 3 weeks ago in London, and it's also rumored to be in Boston also. And here we go with a little skip. If you guys can't hear it, it's because I don't want my channel taken down.
And also confirmed Alan Tudyk, who is not on that list, but was confirmed.
We're dying of heat in my room. You're on the video chat with Hayden and Jacob. And then our Wi-Fi connection started messing up.
Also, the Boston that was mentioned is not here in the U.S. It's
Really?
Boston over in the UK. It's not Boston here.
Oh, that sucks. Because I literally, as soon as I saw the word Boston, I messaged all my friends in Boston, Massachusetts, and I was like, yo, guys, filming's happening in your area. They're going to be let down.
So, did you also message Mandalorian Mark, who lives up?
Oh, I didn't know he was up there. Okay, no, I didn't.
It also includes Mandalorian Mark, who was hoping to be included in that, but no, it's over in Boston, UK. I caught that.
Which I was not aware existed until just now.
Carry on.
Cool alien designs, by the way. Brand new. They're definitely putting an emphasis on new aliens with this new Andor show. I'm sure we'll see plenty of familiar aliens we already know and love, but they're going to definitely push home that there's new aliens in the universe.
Yes. Yep.
I'll be back. My internet's tripping. Bro. Not that much.
All right.
No, like 40 milligrams.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell us anything. Not that you'd really think it would, because, I mean, it just started doing their thing. 3 weeks ago, Dale. 3 weeks ago, not 3 months. I mean, yeah, we've been talking about this forever, and we don't really know anything about it. It's going to be a spy show, and, some people didn't like Rogue One because, oh my God, he shot an innocent guy in the back and killed him. Well, I mean, yeah, it's war, dude.
Because he had to. He didn't have any other choice.
He knew that guy was probably not going to make it out of there. He would have got caught by the Empire and interrogated for his secrets.
Exactly. He didn't have a choice. He had to put Tivik down because he didn't have a choice. Why can't folks see that? It's plainly seen.
And I think we're going to get into his headspace in this show a little bit more. And, so you kind of get the idea of what made Cassian the Cassian we see at the very beginning of Rogue One. Like, why is he this type to do the dirtier things that a lot of people aren't, proud of doing?
Yes. Yep.
And I think a lot of that's going to come out of his childhood, too. Because he's shown that he's been through a lot of stress since he was a child, so I think that'll carry directly into the show.
Yep.
I'm trying to decide. Here's where my camera is straight ahead, so like when I'm reading stuff. But a lot of times when I'm looking at you guys, well, I guess it would depend on what's going on and if I need my camera, if I move my camera over to here. I was just thinking of stuff. And then behind me, I'm going to have a green screen that's going to be 10 by 20 feet, so I can start doing my virtual reality. I got some virtual reality games coming, pretty cool. It's going to be awesome when I do mixed reality, and it's virtual reality and myself in there fighting, so you can watch me do Vader Immortal like that. Only on Live It. Oh, Patrick, maybe that's a selling point for you.
What, gaming?
No, that I'm going to be doing Vader Immortal and
Only on Live It?
on Live It. And it's not going to be really virtual. It's going to be mixed reality, so it's going to be virtual reality with me in it. It takes a long time and it's hard to set up, but
I know what it is. Yeah, you got like the camera set up, and you can set different body trackers on yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that will be me. And you can catch that on Live It. So download that shit, mofo's.
And then if you just want to go out in the public and be a random person, you could do it on VR chat too.
Kylo Customs.
We don't know who that is. That is Darth Rose's Rebel.
Darth Rose's Rebel. And then whenever he decides to put on his blonde hair some weekends, he's also known as Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, is Jennifer Aniston here?
No, she's not here tonight. Darth Rose's Rebel's here tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just Darth Rose's Rebel.
All right.
Obviously,
yes,
sub dude. I don't know
we're
what's
a farmer.
crazy, but it's all crazy.
I'll be right back.
Patrick will be back. I don't know what happened
Everything's
to him.
crazy.
Dale, I don't know what you are not doing, but that's okay. Dale, you know what? Even if you were doing it, chances are I wouldn't squeal on you. Because that's how friends are.
So, Darth Rose's Rebel, as you name yourself.
Sure.
Yes,
That's my name.
it is. G, take my
Yo.
spot, because I gotta go and take a step out. So, please fill my spot. And
Okay.
I will catch upon a rewatch of this come Sunday morning. But I gotta step out. So, G,
Yup. I got you.
thank you.
Yep. Real, make
And
sure you turn your camera off.
that's the first thing they do.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Thank you for the backup, Michael.
No problem.
Well, hey, before you go, Rural, wait, give me 1 minute. Hold on. I want to show you something.
I'm here.
I want to show you something. Let me change this because I'm gonna hack this stream real quick.
Take your time. Go slow. Slow and easy.
All right, so this is what I got today.
What'd you get? What did you get?
It's wall art. Can you see it?
Yeah, you got
Copy that. Who's the artist?
Fucking glare is what I got.
Who is the artist? If you
This
know.
This was given to me as a early Christmas gift today
From family.
from family.
Hi guys.
what's up, Juna?
It's
Nothing.
it's artwork from the original trilogy characters and the pre-trilogy characters.
Copy that.
I'll have to take a picture and put it on Twitter because for some reason there's too much glare because of the computer screen.
You know Kristen liked to post to me a story, right?
Yeah, whatever. We're gonna go back to whatever he had it as. There we go.
I got it.
You got it. All right.
Yeah.
I was getting there. Damn it.
Andy, we were just going over what we thought was going to happen with the what we think with the news that came out. We're just talking about that. because okay, so The Acolyte, Leslie Headland, Emmy Award nominated creator of the mind-bending series Russian Doll, brings a new Star Wars series to Disney Plus with The Acolyte. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. Okay, so what are we gonna get? I mean, it can't give us too much because, well, it depends on when it comes out and what we have going on with the books. I mean, if it's gonna be 3 years out, this side of the books could be done. But just like, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything because we could find out how things end up without having the same characters in there, which I don't think I'd really like, but I don't know. I don't really know what I got on this one. What are the emerging dark side powers? And is it like, I'm not really, I don't know. I got nothing. I really don't. Because if they give us the end, or is it just, it doesn't really show the end? The characters are already gone by then. But you got Chewbacca's and Yoda's that are still going. So, I don't know. I'm just happy for whatever they give us. Give us some crazy shit, yo. Russian Dolls was freaking awesome.
Hey, Rural, I sent it to you in DM. I took a picture and sent it to you in DM.
Copy that, Kylo.
All right, what we got going on here? Let's see who's here. We've got the younger Yoda, maybe. Andy's back. Or I guess you guys might have said that already.
Yeah, man.
Hey, whatever.
Yoda is where we got Yoda is going to be about 700 years old when this takes place. And that, then again, it depends on when was the end of the High Republic. Did the High Republic, what is the timeline for the ending point? Is it leading, is the High Republic leading in, the end of the High Republic leading into Episode 1? Or does it end 30 years earlier or 50 years earlier? Is it when Plagueis is around? Is that the dark side abilities that we see coming around? So now I'm starting to think a little bit about this because you said that. So now it's like, the Acolyte. Maybe it is about Plagueis and Palpatine. Because as far as I know, we don't really have an age on Palpatine. We know in the timeline when he's around, but we don't have, exact dates of when he grew up and everything as far as I can recall. So we don't really know. Was he aging like a normal human, or, was the dark side keeping him young? Gannon's gone. Darth Rose's Rebel, what are you doing? Are you trying to Google Wikipedia to find out the answer to my question?
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry. No, I was responding to a message.
Oh, okay.
I don't use Wikipedia. Christ, I have something between my ears that works.
Glasses?
Yeah, them too.
So, yeah, I'm kind of up in the air on, when I say I'm up in the air on this one, not that I don't think I'm going to like it. I think it's going to be freaking amazing, especially because, Trevor, if that's you watching us on Twitch, hop back on here, man. Hop on over here and give us your ideas of what you think is going to be happening with this, because I would really like to know.
Trevor, get your ass in here and talk with us.
Well, there's one person that always watches on Twitch, and if Trevor watches this, he watches it on Twitch. So that's why I'm just wondering if it's him. And if it's not Trevor that's watching us on Twitch, tell us who you are. And you know what? I'm going to invite you to come in.
Tell us who you are. Are you sure you're supposed to be here? If you're not supposed to be here, you need to leave. Because this is Darth Rose's Rebels safe place.
There is no safe place to hide from us. All right, so
you will join us or die.
I am back.
Smart man.
We lost Aurora while I was gone. Aurora head off for the night?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Rurl, if you are still watching this, I wish you a wonderful night and get some good rest. What are we talking about now, Michael?
What do you think is going to happen in Acolyte?
Since they're setting this at the very end of High Republic, I think they're going to start setting some stuff up in the books that's going to lean towards or hint towards maybe some of the events of the Acolyte happening. However, Lucasfilm was really good about keeping things mysterious, so I think you're going to get a bunch of Acolyte prequel material once the show starts to air, like a year or two into development. You're going to start seeing books and comics specifically related to High Republic Acolyte content. They're going to want you to watch the Acolyte much like The Mandalorian, and they're going to want you to be questioning everything you thought you've known about the High Republic up to that point. But leave you with enough tie-ins so that way you go, okay, I know this connects to this and this connects to this. So yeah, there's my thoughts.
Oh, and
Andy.
Andy tags in. What's up, buddy?
Uh-oh.
The 12th man appears.
Long time no
Andy.
see.
He had to drop in. He's got that good.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, how you been?
Not too shabby, man. It's been a while since I've gotten to grace the old SEPTIC tank or whatever tank otherwise, but it's good to see you guys.
You too, man.
Happy late Thanksgiving and an early Christmas.
Yeah, same to you. Did you have a good Life Day?
Man. Yes, Life Day was a success.
Did you get some of that tip yip?
I passed on the tip yip. Too much lutefisk.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because the Falcon burned it all.
No, not tip yip for me. Hey, so I wanted to ask you guys, since I haven't been, I have checked in and watched, from time to time, but since I haven't really directly spoken with you guys, Patrick a little bit, but how are your guys' collections coming along?
They are quite excessive and growing more and more throughout the week.
So, Kylo, you're still stacking the pops?
Yeah, I'm stacking. I'm stacking on stacking, and I'm stacking them on top of stacks. And let me tell you, it's become something else. And now I can start working on my Hoth diorama now that I have almost all of them.
You need some Hoth pops? Michael, that's quite a stash you have acquired here.
Yeah. No, I think I have all the hot ones, and I have extra ones I can use for out of box too.
That's fun.
I just need that last one coming from Amazon, the Darth Vader and the Snow Trooper.
That would be a cool one. So if that's the next one on your list, Michael, what's next on your list? Or did you hear it because your headphones weren't on?
No, he's like, I don't collect Funko Pops. So
Well, I didn't necessarily mean Funkos. Just what was next on the list? Can't hear him. Can you guys hear Michael? I can't hear Michael.
I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I muted my microphone on here by accident instead of using over there. So,
so what's next?
I have. Well, I'm still waiting. So I went to GameStop. Called me last week to let me know that they had my some merchandise of mine in. So I went to go pick it up yesterday. And when I got to the store is going out of business, and everything that they had that they received that was shipped to them for a pre-order was sent back to corporate so that it could be sent to the new store for me to pick it up there instead of sending it from directly there because probably, too much stuff gets lost that way or whatever. So that way it could be going back to corporate. I don't know. But there's new people at the store. The store's been liquidated. I don't really understand what's going on there. So I went to the new store, and they can't do anything or help me until anything arrives there. And all of my pre-orders are officially canceled. And if they get but they're just actually not canceled. They're being transferred. So I have the rest of all of the Clone Wars Funko Pops that I'm waiting to arrive there. A few Black Series. From Entertainment Earth, I think I have a couple cases of Black Series coming in, a couple other Funkos. So I have a little bit of stuff coming in every, whenever it comes out.
Gotcha.
Or Entertainment Earth a lot of times will take a little bit longer to get with some stuff, but at least it comes in good condition versus ordering it from another place that just sends it in an envelope and then you got to fight with them because the box is smashed. That happened to me. I don't know if you saw one of my Mandalorian pops came in and the box was kind of crushed. And
that happened to Josh a couple weeks ago too. Same thing. But it was a Mando Black Series from Walmart.
That might be what it was. And they sent it in an envelope, and I called them. I was like, hey, I need this replaced, and they were like, okay, well, we can't replace it, but to give you a refund, you need to send it back. Oh no, it was what was it? I forget what it was. But anyways, and I was like, listen, you don't understand. Like, this is a set of whatever. And if I don't have the set, it's useless to have the rest of them. So, like, you need to send me a new one. They're like, oh, no, it's back ordered. So it took me a half hour on the phone, but they ended up just refunding it, and I got to keep it, which isn't ideal because I would rather paid for it and have the box intact. But, it's better than nothing.
Now you can take it out and play with it.
No!
I'll tell you who's had really bad luck with pre-orders was Pete. Oh my gosh! Anytime he'd get half of his stuff in, it would be in a crushed box. I'm like, man, I've never had huge issues like he has. He's been through almost, I don't know, a third of his collection's probably been smashed or crushed.
I mean, he does live in New Jersey, so it's expected.
This is also true.
Well, thankfully, I guess if there's any silver lining, thankfully, Pete's an out-of-the-box collector, so
he is. Yeah,
he takes his pops and his Black Series out and displays them. So, I mean, I guess if that were to happen to anybody, thankfully it's to somebody like him that does that. Unfortunately, that leaves very little choice in the matter, but at least he's the kind of guy that's not going to get too bent out of shape, no pun intended, about it. So,
Andy, let me ask you, what is next on your list? This is a multi-tiered question. What is next on your list for a normal collector, being like Black Series, Funko, things that are coming out normally into the market? And then what is the eye on the prize thing that you're going for? Because obviously we're talking about different levels when we're talking about Funkos and Black Series, or a 1 in 100 number 11 signed by every person that was a Boba Fett helmet,
Right.
kind of situation there.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, Mike. So
all right.
I've got the Mando helmet on pre-order.
Okay.
The Black Series Mando helmet. And that'll be this spring sometime. Let me think. I don't have any Funkos on pre-order at the moment. I've honestly really I'm really pumping the brakes on Funkos and Black Series right now. I did get the Clone Wars Black Series, those 4 figures, the Ahsoka Trooper, and then the
I thought I was going to get Ahsoka, but I think I ended up not getting that one. However, I think you got this one. I just got this one in the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting on my Ahsoka Trooper. That one is still not showing up yet.
See, Josh loves those, and
you hate them.
I'm not a fan, but that's okay. That's okay, Michael. That's okay. There's room for everybody here. But as far as like
what you like and buy it if you can afford it.
Exactly. And so the reason why I've kind of pumped the brakes on Black Series and Funko, because for a while I was really into Funko and I've never been like super into Black Series, but I'd always be getting like any trooper that came out I would get. And it didn't matter if it was gaming grade or Clone Wars or whatever. I just like the troopers, so I've been getting the troopers. But I've kind of hit the brakes on that for a while because I want to save up for a couple of bigger ticket items out of the vintage stuff, and that's I'm being patient about it because I want to find something that's a reasonable deal, reasonable price for what I know. So here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a vinyl cape Jawa and a double telescoping Luke Skywalker. And if you have heard of those, then you know that they're not cheap items. So
no.
But that's what's on my horizon. I don't have a timeline. I'm just kind of being patient until I find a good deal. Now, I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm tempted to go the graded route, like a loose graded, just so you don't have to deal with the, is it really real or is it fake or, because it's hard to tell sometimes if you're looking online, whether that's eBay or Facebook group or whatever. If you buy
or you get ripped off.
Yeah, if you buy something graded, then you don't have to worry about that. And so so I'm kind of kicking that idea around. I would prefer loose, but that also implies some trust that I'm a little remiss to have with things that cost a lot of money. So if I can't hold it in my hand, I may just go the graded route. So we'll see.
You should talk to Pete. I know that I can find out exactly where it is. There is I know New Jersey is not the smallest place in the world, so it could be far away from them. But there is a place in New Jersey that Johnny Grasso goes to get a lot of his, or was when he was collecting the vintage line. There was a store that he would go to.
What's Johnny's Twitter handle?
I want to say it was just Johnny Grasso at one point.
No, it was Rogue One Johnny.
That's right. Yeah, Rogue One Johnny.
I don't know if it still is or not because when that whole making Star Wars thing happened, they changed from Rogue One to pop culture. So I don't know if he's still Rogue One Johnny or if he's something different. But I can check on that and let you know.
Do you so you know him pretty well? Because I think I follow him, but I'm not 100% sure.
I might have ever exchanged one or two like DMs with him once ever.
Yeah, I can send him a message for you or
Johnny Manziel, Johnny Vegas. Is it Johnny with an H or just Jon?
Jonny.
Johnny Bones, Johnny Greenwood.
Yeah, I don't. He might have changed it after that whole thing went down.
Yeah.
But I can. If not, do a pop culture hour.
Oh, okay.
And he does that one.
Pop culture hour. Oh yeah, I'm following that. Johnny, is he the tall one of the three?
Well, not hot when it before it dissolved. It's still Johnny and Pappas, and Hawes left and has been replaced with Emily. There's now they're no longer to Star Wars. They kind of just talk about whatever they want to. But yeah, Patrick's back again.
Yeah, computer decided to want to go into heat shutdown mode for whatever reason, so we switched to mobile.
But just a quick question: how does Yoda know about the rule of two if there haven't been Sith for so long?
How long has Yoda been around, Michael?
900 years. Ooh.
The Sith have been dead for long before that. So did he know about it? It's just passed down as knowledge that.
There's this magical thing called the Jedi Temple Archives.
Okay, and then when the Sith were thought to be extinct but weren't actually extinct, it's because they went to the rule of two. So how would they know about the rule of two if they thought they were extinct?
Because the rule of two existed before the Sith were extinct. When they supposedly went extinct. That's what we know of in the storyline as of now. They thought they destroyed the final. I'm assuming we think they destroyed the final Master and Apprentice, but they're even hinting at maybe at the end of Rebel Season 2 that maybe like a bunch of Sith types like decided to duke it out because they're trying to figure out who was the more stronger. I think they even hinted a little bit of that in Legends. Yeah. Bane saw that it was all the Sith were just like killing each other constantly. That they weren't really doing themselves any favors.
You guys, thank you for snacking me up. You guys, do you have any cheer gifts? Please throw them my way. TMT, I'm not high snack attack. Sitting around feeling far away.
Who's jamming on some music?
Oh, I'm doing multiple things right now. I'm all over the place right now.
So yeah, I think Dale's pretty much spot on there in terms of the canon Legends timeline. In terms of Darth Bane ended up being the one who made the rule of two, because even he saw you know, he's like, look, we're all Sith here. Yes, we're power hungry, but why are we all killing each other so much? So instead, he decided to figure out, all right, out of everybody here, who's the two most powerful? And those are going to be the only two Sith. And if either the Master or the Apprentice kill each other, they must be replaced.
And here we go. In some not Star Wars, just war news. Texas Prophet, there is a rolling gun battle, and with grenades and 50 cals and some smaller automatic fire. I can hear it get further away.
Yikes.
That is not good. That'll be all over the news, probably.
Well, Washington, D.C. is in the news right now.
If it's bad enough, it'll be on the news.
Why is Washington in the news? What's going on?
Politics.
Political protesting on both sides of the aisle right now.
It's what gets the most clicks. And that's what the media needs is money.
I would say probably the more extremer sides of the political aisle are protesting together in the same area, which is leading to some fireworks.
It's the same reason people watch soap operas. They watch for the craziness.
Yeah. Jerry
Springer. There you go. You're like,
Condor.
What? All right, we got. We're almost done here. The Bad Batch.
You and Josh need to host a fight night. That'll get clicks.
Between.
That's the subject tank pretty much every night.
Pretty much.
Or whatever's set in the subject tank over the next week that we have to deal with.
There you go.
I want to see the Condor versus Kylo.
Ooh,
3 rounds.
I like it.
3 rounds in the octagon. But here's the deal: you gotta leave each other's faces alone. You gotta keep the money makers intact.
You're going down, biatch. You're going down, biatch.
I'll shove a Funko so far up your candy ass you won't even. Oh, never mind. This is supposed to be a fight, not a pleasure time. All right, Andy's joined the septic tank. There's no niceness allowed. All right, so anyways, the Star Wars Bad Batch. The series follows the elite and experimental clones of the Bad Batch, first introduced in the Clone Wars as they find their way in a rapidly changing galaxy in the immediate aftermath of the Clone War.
This looks really good.
Members of Bad Batch, a unique squad of clones who vary genetically from their brothers in the clone army, each possess a singular exceptional skill, which makes them extraordinarily effective soldiers for a formidable crew, aka the A-Team of Star Wars. In the post-Clone Wars
maybe if
era,
you can find them,
they will take on daring mercenary missions as they struggle to stay afloat and find new purpose. And here we go.
So, yeah. They are going to be the A-Team, man.
We got a little sizzle here. Well, for
I wonder
us,
if they're chipped. You think they're chipped?
See, I don't know, and I'm really questioning what's happening because I saw 1 or 2 shots in this trailer that make me wonder.
Well, let's watch the trailer and see. We can hear it, but you can't because we don't want to lose the channel for a week once again.
I've seen this like 12 times.
Yeah, me too.
The Bad Batch.
Is Echo still with him?
Yes, he is.
I just thought of that, and I realized I didn't really look.
Yeah, which is weird because like they set him up at the end of season 7 of Clone Wars. They're like, "Hey, I'm going with these guys." It's like, but he doesn't like mention. Oh, by the way, we're starting a new TV show together. And I noticed something the more I watch this trailer. It's not like a 1-for-1 Clone Wars style. They reinvented it once again. The more you watch it, you can tell that they did some slight changes to the animation.
But it still looks Clone Wars-y, though.
It's Clone Wars enough to, it still feels familiar, but it's definitely slightly, off a little bit. Especially Tarkin. You look at Tarkin, that's a good example of the difference between the two versions.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
All right.
now that we have Tarkin, and that's really interesting. You're going to see Tarkin switch from a Republic officer to a Imperial officer.
Yeah, he's gonna
That's going to be kind of cool.
He's gonna look out for himself and move up the ranks and try and, do everything that we know Tarkin is.
I would love if in the behind the scenes for the Tarkin episodes, they're like, oh, by the way, we called up James Lucino and asked for his thoughts. Dude, if they do that, oh man, that's going to be next level.
Yeah.
So
His
now that
visions-
the trailer, you guys think this is a spring release on Disney Plus?
Josh seemed to think that they've already got it made and they're just looking
It
for
looks
a
like it's
reason to
about
drop
wrapped.
it. Yeah. That would be cool. That'd be nice to have one of these ready to go soon,
I think they might not have music all the 100% done yet, because I imagine Kevin Kiner would have put a tweet out if they were wrapped.
Is he doing it again?
It's a Clone Wars-esque show. I imagine it probably is, because he did that and Rebels. I think the only show that didn't have him doing music was Resistance. So maybe that's something we have to look out for, is maybe the guy who did the music for Resistance, maybe they're coming back instead. But I imagine if it's a Clone Wars-like show, they're probably getting Kevin Kiner and his son to come back.
That'd be cool. I'd be okay with that.
I'm going to watch his feed like every day and be like, okay, Kev, like, when's the music coming? Are you almost done? Because then that'll give us a better idea of, how far the show is.
Tweet at him, see what he says.
I definitely should tonight. Be like, hey, Kev,
Yo, Kev.
Are you almost done writing the music? Or I should say scoring. I'm sure he's done writing it by now.
Yeah.
They just got and scoring's going to be
Brownsville.
interesting, man, because they're doing smaller ensembles, or they're having to spread them out in the recording areas because of COVID.
Yeah. Or
What
maybe
was it they
just
did? Was it
digitally link them together and just
think
mix
it
and
was,
mix like 30 tracks together instead of 6,
I don't think it was Mandalorian. It might have been Mandalorian. I think it was that game that Michael's been playing on VR. What's that game called? The Tales from the Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah.
I think they recorded that in studio with COVID separation. For the music stuff for that. I think they had to separate the orchestra that way.
Yes, Brownsville, we did notice Fennec in that in a couple of shots. That was kind of cool to see. And I also wondered too if there was like these big white mechanical trooper looking things, if those were like Gen 1 Dark Troopers or something.
Great observation, Andy.
Well,
that might be their way. They debut the ones we want to see in Mando in live action.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you like that? Well, now we're going to take you all the way back to the beginning of the Empire and show you where we started.
Yeah. Because they do that with ships. I mean, it makes sense that they would do that with.
I would
because
love...
they're like just another version of the heavy battle droid,
I would love if they tie it all back to that very beginning Gen 1 Separatist battle droid and show you how it went from this little insignificant droid that's always getting slaughtered and killed all the way up to the modern one we have in Mandalorian now that's like menacing as crap, and you definitely don't want to mess with it.
Well, what I thought was cool was that, Mandalorian seems to be connecting, the show is connecting to prequels, sequels, original, animated, books and comics. It's
video games this week.
Yeah, and so it's like the thing that everything can run through and connect everything together. But it'll be cool. It'll be cool to see other shows now pulling from Mandalorian, like
Yeah, that's
pulling
gonna be
Fennec
that's gonna be
Shan.
trippy.
Yeah.
Especially like Rangers of the New Republic. I mean, that's
What
definitely
is-
something you would expect for Ahsoka, because Ahsoka is kind of multi-generational. But this new Ranger show, that might be the one to watch for, hey, what are you going to pull out for Mando? Like, are you going to drop a Navarro reference? Or those off-world Jawas from Arvala 7? Are we going to get that reference?
Or maybe Kara finds some more droppers that she can
Yeah,
range
there
with.
you go. And they happen to still be working for the New Republic.
Yeah. Or
Well,
disenfranchised.
I don't know. That's a weird, sketchy gray area because of that line from Gideon where he's talking about how her squad got mowed down by the E-Web.
Yeah.
He didn't say all of them, though, so maybe you're
No.
on something, Andy.
No,
Maybe a
you
few
never
survived,
know.
or she's going to find out, I thought you were dead. You're alive.
You left me for dead.
Yeah, there you go. You left me for dead. And then find out this like weird cyborg character is now, one of her old squad mates, and it's like, let's go have a drink at the cantina.
White elephant for this one. Walking.
I think
Kylo's.
we lost Kylo.
Yeah.
We were trying to talk about this earlier, Andy. Are you feeling like they're going to make this a Kara-centric show, or are they going to go with a completely new cast and maybe have some like crossover characters show up?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't have a preference. If it was, she was
I don't
kind of the
either.
leader of the, if she was the leader of the gang, that would be fine with me. If she was just one of them, that would be fine. I mean, controversial tweets aside, there's a ton of people out there that love her, and love the character. So
Yeah, I always
think-
said even if you don't agree with her politics, as long as you can separate the actress from the character, then I think there's still a lot there for you, even if you don't like, her particularly.
right, yeah, like not all of her lines come off as natural all the time.
Yeah,
but-
and they're not supposed to, because her character's not supposed to be,
But
they
she
wrote her character
definitely
to be a certain
kicks
way
ass.
that it fits more towards the way she acts anyways.
Yeah. You guys seen the movie that she did like a few years ago called Haywire?
Yeah.
No, but I heard it's pretty good.
Oh my gosh, she kicks all ass in that movie. What's weird though is that they changed her voice in the movie,
Yeah, because
which
everybody,
is weird.
a lot of directors never liked her voice for some reason.
It's her saying the lines and stuff, but they did like a voice alteration to it, so she sounds a little more sultry. But it's really her saying it. It's weird. But she's really throwing down though too, and that was like she God, in the opening scene, who's the guy? Condor, you'll know this. Who's the Channing Tatum, the main guy from Magic Mike? Right? Channing Tatum.
You mean the movie that's based on my life?
Yes. She just beats his ass in the first scene of the movie, man. It is so good. And then she does it like 6 more times with other people, but she's just such a uniquely physical, woman that like it's her doing all the stunts and she's rolling around and jumping off walls, and it's pretty cool. It's a good action movie.
And her acting is much better in The Mandalorian than it was in Haywire.
Yeah, maybe.
I've definitely seen some improvements in from where she started to where she is now.
I mean, and I think her acting is even better in season 2 than it was in season 1. Because she wasn't really an actress. She was a martial artist that they said, wow, you can kick ass. Let's put you in a movie. Let's give you some roles. And then they put her, she's probably had, listen, there's actors that are professionals. And, even like when they were talking about Aaron Reich and he had an acting coach and stuff like that. professional actors have acting coaches all the time because when you're not, to get you in the role right, or to, there's a lot of times they have like psychologists that are acting coaches because they know how to get in your head and get you to act a certain way. So it doesn't mean anything that you have an acting coach. It's trying to better yourself.
Get
just
in touch
like
with your feelings.
Just like when I ask people, hey, what should I do to make this better? It's like, oh, turn on a light, do this, do that. Your microphone sucks. Get a better microphone.
Hey, fellas, I got to go put some kids to bed, but it was sure good to see you guys. I miss you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too, man.
Good to see you too, Andy. We miss you too.
You know where to find us.
Hit me up. We got to play some of that new Squadrons update.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's go.
Yeah. That.
I'm gonna tell you guys it's really bad.
Said it was pretty good.
I'm gonna tell you guys it's really bad. I haven't played Squadron since it came out, and this guy is still. This guy's still in the wrapper.
They added the TIE Defender.
Oh my
viewing yesterday.
This guy hasn't even come out yet, so.
Doesn't Christina usually display the sex toys on the show?
All right, we'll see you guys.
And Andy's out.
Andy's like, peace.
All right, and then the last one we have.
Visions.
Oh, well, actually, it's not the last one, but
Oh.
there's still a bunch more shit. But whatever. Presenting all new creative takes on the galaxy far, far away, Star Wars Visions will be a series of animated short films celebrating Star Wars through the lens of the world's best anime creators. The anthology collection will bring 10 fantastic visions from several of the leading Japanese anime studios, offering a fresh and diverse cultural perspective to Star Wars. Even if it's something that you're not into anime, this is freaking amazing because we need Star Wars. We, as in the Star Wars community, needs a bigger, although it's very big in Japan, other Asian cultures like anime also. So we need a lot of help getting it over there because, like in China, for example, they're not down with Star Wars because the whole Force thing and the Ghost thing, they just don't. It's not for them. So if we can bring in, some people that want to watch some anime cartoons, maybe that will bring in more people. Just like, you put a little freaking $5 million doll in a TV show, and now all the soccer moms want to watch Star Wars. So, all these things are just to bring more people in. The more people that Star Wars has, the stronger Disney has on their takeover of the world.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh boy, we're gonna rule the world someday.
The only thing that's a close top contender would probably be McDonald's and Coca-Cola.
Okay.
I hope we get a Studio Ghibli Visions episode. Can you imagine if they had Miyazaki doing Star Wars Visions? That would be just peak next level Star Wars if they managed to pull that off. And the other cool thing about a lot of the anime studios, I've been looking more and more into this. The more you watch more modern anime, they're really, it's like a lot of Hollywood movies have definitely, figured out ways to, utilize color palette and lighting and stuff as time has gone on. Even anime has had more brighter colors and things pop more. And the color palettes are wacky, crazy, and yet still come out very beautiful. So I'm interested to see more on the art side of, what color palettes are they going to choose? How vibrant are the colors going to be in each episode? And, last few years, I know people who watch Solo and to some extent, Rise of Skywalker and even a little bit of Last Jedi, a lot of fans said some of these movies at certain points, they feel like they're really dark and grimy. And yes, Star Wars has to have grime, but sometimes some people have been complaining that, certain films are a little too dark for their taste. Maybe all they need is some vibrant anime colors.
Could be. And Dale thinks Gina's cool. He doesn't agree with everything she says.
Yeah, he doesn't agree with somebody on everything they say.
Navarro, Prophet says Navarro gets wiped out by Gideon. Cara Dune survives and rejoins the New Republic forces.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, hey, we just rebuilt all of this beautiful city of Navarro, and Gideon's just going to blow it up again because he's Gideon.
Kylo's an asshole, in case anyone didn't know that. We're getting part of Cara Dune's story right now.
We really are. I've noticed these last few episodes, they've definitely, or the middle of the season, they've been focusing more on her. And this week, they definitely really focused on her and, you know, the side characters more. And you're right. They are starting to lean heavy on these side characters, and it makes you wonder, you know, Mayfeld, her, and I always forget her name, man. What's her name?
Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shand, thank you. They've really focused on those three, and it's like, maybe they're going to be like some people that show up in Rangers and have a focus over there. And they might not even be the main characters. They might just be like, you know, reoccurring characters on there, just popping up from time to time.
As Dale said, exactly.
Exactly.
And we have the droid story as Lucasfilm continues to develop a new stories. The intersection of animation and visual effects offers new opportunities to explore. Lucasfilm Animation will team up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team Industrial Light and Magic, also known as ILM to you nerds, to develop a special Star Wars adventure for Disney+. A droid story, this epic journey will introduce us to a new hero, guided by legendary duo R2-D2 and C-3PO. Yeah, that's just cool. While we're here, we might as well just keep going. Like, we really don't know. They're just like, hey, we're going to introduce two things that have never been done together, or they might make stuff really cool. So I think that's pretty cool. Lucasfilm is currently in pre-production of the next installment of the Indiana Jones franchise. We've heard a lot about it for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it always kept getting delayed, either due to story scripting or just conflicting schedules. But they've locked dates now. It's happening, Mike. They know when they're shooting next year.
At the helm is James Mangold, director of the Academy Award-winning Ford vs. Ferrari and Indy himself. Harrison Ford will be back to continue his iconic character's journey. Indy will begin shooting late spring of 2001 and will arrive in July of 2022. So we have Indiana Jones in the summer of 2022 and Star Wars in 2023. And a bunch of TV shows to hold us over. And Willow, coming to Disney Plus, will be set decades after Ron Howard's 1988 movie, continuing the spirit of adventure, heroics, and humor of the original film. Warwick Davis will return in his role as the great sorcerer Willow Ufgood, with John Chu, director of the groundbreaking Crazy Rich Asians, directing the pilot. Willow begins shooting next March in Wales and will debut on Disney Plus in 2022.
Do you know what this means? Willow will begin shooting in March. Or sorry, you have Cassian shooting right now. You have Kenobi supposedly shooting January, February. Then you got Willow shooting in March. You got Indy probably starting, I would imagine they're saying late spring, so probably early May. And then right after that, they're going to roll right into filming for they'll have probably some stuff going on for Acolyte starting filming later this year, but they're going to start, it'll be Acolyte, and then next year, probably January or maybe even February, you could start hearing some stuff about Rogue Squadron starting filming.
Basically, they will be filming Star Wars nonstop forever.
Or just Lucasfilm stuff and Star Wars stuff moving forward. Yes, and we have no idea when Rangers and Ahsoka are going to start filming, but it's probably going to be later next year.
It will be Star Wars forever.
Keep it coming. Keep the books and comics rolling, and the shows rolling, and the games rolling, and we will all be there.
Finally, the Lucasfilm catalog is expanding further with a story that will introduce a new hero and explore an original world that feels perfectly paired with Lucasfilm storytelling. I have absolutely no idea about any of this. Tommy Adamaye's New York Times, I said your name wrong, I'm sorry, not that you'll ever know, but someone can correct me on the proper pronunciation of that. New York Times best-selling novel, Children of Blood and Bone. The story will center around a young African girl's heart-racing quest to restore magic to her forsaken people. The Magi, Lucasfilm, will partner with 20th Century Studios on this coming-of-age adventure. And for everyone, just so you know, the amount of time we've spent talking about this Star Wars and Lucasfilm stuff, there is just as much to talk about with Marvel, but I would really have no idea about the 95% of the stuff because it's just I just watch the movies and I'm just enjoy it. It's like when I talk to people about Star Wars, and they're like, "Oh, you mean that guy with that thing?" And like, "Oh, you mean Darth Vader?" I mean, I know a little bit more than that, but yeah, I really have. Not really sure. So, all right, fellas. What else we got?
Well, they're saying when is Indy coming out? Is it summer of 2022? Oh, you went past it. It's down low. Right there. Where it says other Lucasfilm stories underneath the droid story.
Lucasfilm is currently in pre-production of the next installment of Indiana Jones franchise. At the helm is James Mangold, director of the Academy Award-winning Ford vs. Ferrari, and Indy himself, Harrison Ford, will be back to continue his iconic character's journey. Indy will begin shooting late spring of 2021 and will arrive July 2022,
So that will be our summer flick.
Right before Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Celebration.
That literally is like the month before Celebration.
Celebration.
So,
Celebration.
How many
Celebration.
How many people are going to dress up in Indiana Jones cosplays at Celebration in Anaheim? You think there's going to be... I can almost guarantee you there's going to be at least one guy dressed up as Indy with a lightsaber.
I'll take that bet, and I'll bet over.
Over? I'm right there with you, man. And I bet they're going to go like old man Han Solo, too. Could you imagine if he had like the Jedi robe on with the lightsaber and he still had the cowboy hat on?
That would be pretty cool.
Oh, and then he's got to have a whip or, I don't know, whip saber. And somebody was telling me, I want to say this, I don't know if it's canon confirmed. I think they're bringing the whip saber back for High Republic. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I saw a whip saber in something.
I think it was originally something from Legends, and they're bringing it back for High Republic.
Bad Batch has the whip saber in it.
Does it?
Yeah, dude. Did you not watch?
Oh no, it was one of those slave whips. This is the one you're thinking of. It like shocks you.
I don't know. I just saw him. You see him go like this. He flings it at the dude.
It's the Zygarian slave traders.
You're a Zygarian slave trader.
Yeah, I probably am. But yeah, I'm thinking something along the lines we'll be seeing some possible lightsaber whip stuff and more crazy whip stuff. Are you looking forward to Indy, Kylo?
To what?
Are you looking forward to Indiana Jones?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Oh, I was going to tell you guys something I saw today that was breaking news, and that is Shia LaBeouf is possibly going to court. And not for good reasons. So if there was any plans of him being in Indy 5 or coming back for Indy 5, you might want to consider they might be doing some reworks with the script now. He's in some big doo-doo.
What did he do?
Some very relationship controlling and sexually related stuff that was not very good.
That's been his story for Shia LaBeouf, man. He's been doing crazy shit for years. Isn't he the one that did like the naked sex museum thing where he like jerked off?
I don't remember. That
in
sounds
New York
like
City.
something he would probably do.
And like people like they were trying to bust him for like public masturbation or something like that, and he was just like, "It's art, man. It was art. They signed a waiver for whatever to watch me do it." And but all right, guys. Yeah. So we will have a Bacta tank this Monday, the first time in a couple. We don't even know who the featured guest is going to be yet.
Are you doing any unboxings on the next Bacta tank, sir?
I will be, because I know I have a couple things sitting around here that I'm just not going to open up yet because I don't know if I'm going to be getting any more things to play with in the next 2 days. So
yeah,
I'll have at least one thing. Cool. And then I'm waiting. GameStop is supposed to have a bunch of my toys, and
you might have to see that for another month.
It's just whether or not they can get them or not. And then it was weird because this one's out of the way. It's like I literally I went to the one. It's like a 20-minute walk from my house. It takes me the same amount of time to walk there, or take the train there, or take the bus there. So I walked there, and they're like, "Oh no, it's this other one." So I had to take the bus. Like 50 streets to go down, which took like an hour. It's New York City, so it took about an hour for me to get there, for them to tell me that, like, oh, we don't know anything because nothing's in our computers yet. Everything got sent back and blah, blah. And this guy pulls out a stack. He's like, these are the pre-orders that they have there. And I'm like, dude, it's a computer. It doesn't take that long. It's not like each one has to be individually done. You just flip a switch, or, you can transfer them out. It's like, I don't understand why you're showing like that to me. Like, that doesn't really mean... yeah, you have 200 pages of whatever. That doesn't mean anything to me that it needs to be done or whatever. So I wasn't really impressed with it, but I understand where he's coming from. He was just kind of, oh, they're all coming in the store? Okay, and now people are going to the store and he doesn't have their shit. So, whatever. I don't know. But then I asked him, I was like, well, this store is very inconvenient for me to get to. Can I transfer to a different store? It's like, well, what we'd have to do is cancel the order, give you your deposit back in the form of a gift card, and then you'd have to reorder it from the other store. If
they haven't already taken the pre-order down.
Yes.
See, that's the catch.
I'm still waiting for last season of Clone Wars shit, which is already out.
That stuff's still rolling out. Like some of that I might not get until January, like late December, early January.
So that's not pre-ordered anymore. That's already out, and so I'm sure they can get it, but it's just the matter. Like, I could just say fuck it and order it off of Amazon.
Yeah, but even if they have it now, and some of that you might have to go through eBay and bid for it.
Yep.
It's a weird situation we've been in lately, but just because COVID.
I want to know what kind of sounds Kylo's going to be playing with. Next time we're on.
Stuff you recorded tonight for sound bites, yeah.
Yeah.
I need them for my cancellation. For my cancellations. And then this way I can send them to those SJWs and the cancel cultures and the followers of shitty streamers, and I want to sell T-shirts.
Oh, with our quotes on them? I like that idea.
Kylo touched me in my no-no places. Cancel him. By the way, I'm starting a T-shirt line tomorrow, so stick around for that information. All right, you guys. I mean, that's kind of true. Not the T-shirt thing, just him touching me in my no-no places. Or
Fuck you.
or the other way around. I don't know. Or maybe it's all true.
Only because you liked it so much.
Anyways, I was going to say something that could really actually get me canceled right there, but
Let's not go there tonight.
yeah.
It's the septic tank.
Christina's not here.
When she's here, it makes everything better.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. You guys got anything else?
Go watch TooMedToo on YouTube and click subscribe. Click that notification bell, and that way you're notified every time a new stream comes up.
Yeah, dude. And check out, Twitter and Instagram and MySpace.
And Live It.
Oh, yeah, and Live It. That's where, all the fun happens.
And AOL and...
yes,
send Kylo all of your AOL instant messages.
Yeah, if anybody has any CD-ROMs that they're trying to get some free dial-up on, send them to Kylo.
Man.
Send them to Kylo.
That's what keeps him going on these streams.
Yep. Dee-doo. That's why he's an hour behind us, because it takes him an hour to catch up with his streams.
Yeah. I'm that far behind because this damn dial-up.
All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Like, share, subscribe. And remember, next week we're going to have a special on Super Chats. If you give us a Super Chat, we will read your comment and highlight it and show it on screen.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Wow. Is that because it's a Life Day miracle?
Maybe.
Now that we're getting closer to the holidays, Michael's feeling generous. He'll read your
Holidays.
stuff and you donate.
Holidays? Oh, I didn't say it's going to be around time. It could be like 15 minutes behind.
You've got mail.
You've got mail.
There we go. Next Saturday, it's going to be a special septic tank that we're going to be hosting because it is also going to be Kylo's birthday septic tank.
Oh, is Jennifer Aniston going to host?
She might host.
Oh, man. I can't wait for her to bring out the birthday boy.
Yes.
Oh, so does this mean I can just fucking set it up and let you run with it?
I guess, and whatever, I don't care. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to drink alcohol, and I'm going to host a show that God only knows where the hell it's going to go.
Disclaimer right now, if you would like to cancel anyone, it will be, me because it's my show, but Kylo's running it, so just fucking cancel everybody. Except for Patrick. Patrick's only been halfway canceled so far.
It's true.
Yeah, I've almost recovered the. Well, see, the thing is, I've recovered all of my followers on Twitter that I had before, but after like every septic tank or RFB comes on or a retweet something he does, I lose like one or two more people every time. So it's kind of like a non-winning battle until eventually all those fucking idiots just unfollow me and it's other people.
And then you come over and look at my
on.
Twitter, and I'm getting like 1 or 2 or 3 every time I go on Mike's show while he's losing people.
Yeah.
It's like, how does this work? I don't know. He's the host. He should be getting more follows than me.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm back to where I was at, too. I'm back up to my normal followers on Twitter. I lost
a good amount there for a while, and I ended up passing back past mine again, and I'm actually at a higher number now, so that's good.
I
lost a bunch, and I got them back. Or I didn't get them idiots back, but I got
new people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. But it's funny. A lot of people that unfollowed me and unfriended me are now starting to not necessarily follow me again, but talk to me. It's like, oh no, we got to be politically correct, and they're saying unfollow you, so we're gonna unfollow you. And then, oh wait, it's been 2 months. Okay, time's up. Hey, we can talk to you again. So, not the follows yet, but back talking. So, whatevs, dude. Whatevs.
Whatever.
With that, I say good day. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.